Too much.
I ain't never switch, I was raised in the lion's den, standing on truth. I don't follow, I inspire men, loyal to the code. Got the wisdom of 1,000. Every move I make for the fam, that's the fountain. Built from the struggle, integrity
in my spine.
Character solid, you can read between the lines. Talk what I live, they respect me when I speak. Name, hold, weight in the west and the east. Lessons from the block got me sharp like a blade. Made it out the fire, but the flame never fade. Soul made of steel, I don't shake, I don't run.
I'm too much.
I'm the moon and the sun.
Everybody know me.
Too much. When you
See me on the street, too much, too much. I be on TikTok,
too much. Always
standing on business.
too much.
Everybody know me.
Too much. When you see
Me on the street, too much, too much.
I be on
TikTok,
too much.
always standing on business.
Too much. Legacy on my back, I don't bend, I don't fold. Too much to name, but I never do the most. Principles embedded, they don't come with a cost. I took every L like a boss,
Never lost.
Talk to the youth like a prophet in the street. Every bar is a jewel, every line is elite. Got the aura of a king, calm, never loud. But when I step in the room, I still move the crowd.
Come on.
Sticking to the code, I don't break, I
Y'all
create.
come on in the room, get them lights up. We about to get started. Episode 2, let's get it.
I'm living what I said. I'm too much, lead with heart,
not just bread.
Everybody know me. Too much.
When you see me on the street, too much, too much. Always on TikTok,
Too much.
always standing on business. Everybody know me.
When you see
See me on the street, too much, too much.
I be
On
on
TikTok,
too much. Always standing
on business.
too much. Mirror never lie, I reflect what's divine. Discipline the fuel, got my purpose in line. They imitate the stance, but the soul ain't
Match it.
I do it for the bloodline.
Never for the caption. Too much, realer than the lives they be living.
I'm the echo of the struggle, still risen. Woke in my thoughts, still humble in my deeds. Planting righteous seeds while the world just feeds.
Come on.
Eyes on the prize, but my mind in the stars. Blueprint in my palms, no facade, no fraud. Speak truth in a world full of fiction.
Damn fronts, too much. I'm the future they want.
Everybody know me. Too much. When you see me on the street, too much.
Come on, come on.
I be on TikTok, too much.
Always standing on business.
Too much.
Hey, standing tall for the lineage. Always more. All right, get them lights up. We about to get started. Round 2. Standing tall for the lineage. All right. What's everybody going? How's everybody doing tonight? 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. Central Time. How's everybody doing? What's going down? We about to get into it. We still standing on lineage business. We're still standing on FBA business. We still here. And listen, all I'm really doing is just showing y'all the proof and the truth. Because once I go through this, once I lay it all out, it's done. It's done. Once I lay it all out, it's done. No need to argue with these tethers anymore. No need to go back and forth with them anymore on who we are and what our lineage is and what happened to us as a people, because they don't know. And this is also to educate the family, because you don't know. You're not going to be able to get taught this in school. You have to seek out this information. There are old newspaper clippings. There's documents. You got to really research this stuff to really know what really happened to you. And thank God that the proof is not fully erased. The proof is still here. We talked yesterday about the 1828 Webster's Dictionary and what they classified as an American back in 1828. So they recognized that they were immigrants to the new land. They had sense enough to know they weren't indigenous to here, but they made sure they called the indigenous people here, they called them Americans. The American Negro is indigenous to America. You understand? And that's documented. And I just showed y'all the proof yesterday. Webster's Dictionary. Come on, man. These people had to change and update the dictionary to include themselves into our lineage, into our history. That's what they do. $5 Indians are real. They have to insert themselves in our lineage for benefit so they can have ties to the land. They don't want to, listen, they don't want to leave here. And they know they can't get us off this land either. Notice nobody's even talking about foundational black Americans when it comes to deportations or anything like that. You know, Trump made it clear, hey man, they're protected by the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment. These are the people that built this country. Yeah. They're saying it now because they know, understand. And peep game on this. They didn't want to make certain Indians citizens. They had to kind of fight for that. And what they leaned on was some of the indigenous to help them fight that so they can become citizens here. Because they know that a lot of the red natives, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I gotta keep it a beam. Y'all not indigenous to here like the American Negro is. The American Negro was here first. Remember, the many faces of the first Americans were American Negroes, was the copper-colored race that was already here. Remember that. Y'all gotta remember that. Okay? So yeah, let's get to it, man. I got some visuals for y'all again today. I'm gonna show y'all some more visuals, cause y'all got, you know, sometimes seeing is believing. Y'all got to see this stuff. Y'all got to visualize this stuff. What was really going on? And shout out to the American Indians, the copper-colored Indians, the ones that are reclaiming and reclassifying themselves. Shout out to y'all. No disrespect. I'm a foundational black American. You know, that's who I am. But shout out to y'all who are black Indians or copper-colored people. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Okay? No slight, no disrespect. It is what it is. But when you walk around saying we were never slaves, that's a lie. I'm just going, and I'm going to show you today. From tribal lands to slaves, the reclassification is real. Some of y'all gave up, the ones who didn't want to go to the reservations, y'all gave up. Some of y'all gave up your indigenous status to become what we call today foundational black Americans because you didn't want to go to the reservation. We're going to talk about that. We just got to listen, and I'm just going to show y'all proof, okay? That the first, matter of fact, the first slaves in America was not African. Let me say that again. The first slaves in America were not African. They were indigenous. They were the American Indian was the first slaves in America, and I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to prove it to you. You don't got to take my word for it. We're just going to go down the timeline. Everything I'm talking about right now, all y'all can just Google. Man, it's on Google. Just Google it. Just Google it. Get them likes up to at least 3K, y'all. Get them likes up to at least 3K. We're gonna get started. Let me get my stuff together. We're gonna get started. We are going to get started. I got visuals to show y'all today. We are going to get started. Okay? This is not going to be something difficult. We're about to get started. So, from tribal lands to slave labels, from indigenous to property. That's what happened. Now, the ones who went on the reservations and did, shout out to y'all. Now, I'm not saying everybody that was American Indian were slaves. Okay, I have to use the word allegedly. Okay, I'll use the word allegedly, but this is coming straight. Everything I'm saying is facts, but you're right. I do have to use allegedly. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's crazy that I can't speak truth. They don't. We've got so comfortable that we're not allowed to speak the truth, even though it's in Google. We still got to, even though it's written down in history, we still got to say allegedly. It's crazy, right? So you were never just, so all my foundational Black Americans, I want you to understand, you were never just a slave. You were never just a slave. You were indigenous or native to this land and enslaved on your own land. They didn't steal you, they just stole your status. Understand that. They stole your status. And I'm about to lay it out to you how they did it. I'm about to lay it out to you how they did it. So let's get to it. They said we came here in chains, but many of us were already here. Many of us was already here, living, farming, thriving. We were understand, listen, Google Chicago 1890 and see the things that foundational Black Americans were building. Understand that they had a whole tribal system. They had a whole governance going around. There was a government structure here before the Europeans got here. There was ways that certain tribes conducted business with other tribes, and there was ways for other tribes to speak to each other before the Europeans got here. There was government structures, there was things already set up, thriving societies already here. The transatlantic slave trade existed. We're never going to deny that. But we know that the majority of the African slaves was sent to South America and the Caribbean. That's just what it is. The majority of them was sent there. Again, let me say it again. The majority of them was sent there. I mean, millions of them went to South America and the Caribbean. About roughly around 300,000 came here. There were slave plantations in the north. Think about this. Slave plantations in the north, in Delaware, had about 1,800 slaves. 1,800. Think about that. So not all of us were enslaved, but enough of us were. Enough of us were. There were laws in the 1600s. Let's go back to the 1600s that allowed the enslavement of native people, especially those who resisted colonization. So if you were a slave if you were an indigenous person who resisted colonization, they either wiped you out or made you a slave. Let me give y'all some things to Google right now. why don't you go ahead and Google the Carolina Slave Codes of 1691. The Carolina Slave Code of 1691. Go ahead and Google that. The Carolina Slave Code of 1691 legally enslaved indigenous people, most of them described as Negro or Indian. I'll wait. The Carolina Slave Codes of 1691. 1691. The greatest number of slaves exported from Carolina in the 1700s were not from Africa, but they came from Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. The slave trade in the colonial South. Go Google the slave trade in the colonial South and understand that the greatest number of slaves exported from Carolina in the 1700s were not from Africa. So some of our people, guess what? Some of the indigenous Americans ended up in the Caribbean, ended up in South America. They got rooted up and transferred somewhere else, either inside the United States or the Caribbean or South America. And they were slaves. If you were a POW, you became a slave. That's just what it is. There's a reason why there is called uncivilized tribes and civilized tribes. You understand now? There's a reason why there were uncivilized tribes and civilized tribes. The uncivilized tribes, guess what? Guess what happened to the uncivilized tribes? They either wiped them out or they became slaves. Can't make this up, people. This is documented. This is documented. There are maps showing trade routes from Southeast Asia to northern plantations. You understand? There are maps showing trade routes from southeastern tribes to northern plantations. You can't make this up. It's documented. What happened? Remember I talked about yesterday? The Webster's Dictionary of 1828. The copper-colored races. The copper-colored people. The copper-colored indigenous tribes, those were considered Americans. And then something came out in 1830, the Indian Removal Act. There was a great reclassification going on. Why? Because they needed the land, and the Europeans were the minority here. They were the minority here, and they needed to become the majority here. So what did they do? Send me all your criminals. Send me all your lowly of the lows. Send me all your potato famine farmers. Send them all on. Send me the criminals, the one that just got out of jail. Send them all over here, and so they can help populate and help build the United States, because we are the minority here. And we're going to give them land, called the Homestead Act. This is how they took the land from the natives and gave it to white people. Can't make this up. Reclassification was how they got away with enslaving indigenous Americans. By labeling tribal members Negro, Walter Pleckert, the one-drop rule. By labeling tribal members as Negro, colored, or black. They stripped tribal status away from the indigenous Americans here. Now, I'm not denying that there was a transatlantic slave trade, because there was. There were Africans over here. Yes, they were. But they were brought in much later. They started out enslaving the indigenous Americans first. And they brought the African slaves over later. And they brought and listen, this is why I rock with some of my Hebrew Israelite brothers, because I rock with them. The slaves that they brought to the Americas, they didn't have the piercings. They didn't have the markings on their body. They brought the ones that were kind of sort of similar to the indigenous ones over here. If I can say that, get away with saying that. These people did not have the elongated or the bones. They were clean cut. And this is where some of our foundational Black Americans, some of our Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters, they talk about they were Hebrew Israelites, because they were the only ones that weren't marking their body, because it was against their religion to do that. It was against God's commandments to mark your body. So they had a strict diet. They practiced a different form of diet. They migrated all through Africa, and many of them settled in the Western African areas. Many of the Bantu tribes, they have a similar tradition to the original Hebrew Israelites. So if anybody was labeled Bantu in Africa, y'all might be Hebrew Israelite, because that's, if y'all saw that movie on Amazon, or that documentary on Amazon that got what's that brother's name? What's that basketball player's name? I can't remember his name. It's going to come to me. He got in trouble for just tweeting or saying, go watch this documentary on Amazon. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He got in trouble for that, right? They sat him down and said, oh, you can't do that, right? So he got in trouble for showing this document, and this is like, and it's kind of showed you who the Hebrew Israelites were and how they were of darker complexion. Well, those people came over to the Americas and mixed in with the indigenous tribes here. Okay? We get into it. So they mixed in with us here. We were all one big Negro. We all went from American Negro or African Negro to colored to black. Okay? At the same damn time. Okay? The Dawes Rolls came out from 1898 to the 1914, which is really more like around 1887. But the Dawes Rolls, if y'all go Google the Dawes Rolls, were a tool of erasure. Many full-blooded tribal people were listed as freedmen. Many freedmen were indigenous Black Americans. Many of them, yes, they were. Many freedmen were indigenous Black Americans. Enslaved blacks weren't always African. Many were indigenous Americans. I want you guys to understand that many were indigenous Americans. There was 5 civilized tribes. So understand, the 5 civilized tribes that the government recognized were the Choctaw, the Chickasaw, Cherokee, Creek, and Seminole. And anybody know about the Seminoles, right? Seminole just means runaway. These were African and indigenous Black slaves who became a tribe called the Seminole tribe. and they were wearing the U.S. government out. They had to trick them, make a pretend treaty, make a pretend white flag surrender to lock up and put their leaders in chains and enslave them. So, but they were part of the civilized tribe. The rest of the other tribe, the 𝗖𝗂𝗄𝐿, the rest of the other ones, they were considered uncivilized tribes, and they were considered free game. You either wipe them out, take their scalp, or you bring them back as Negroes and make them slaves. That's how it worked. That's how it worked. Hold on, let me show y'all some pictures real quick. I'm about to show y'all some pictures right now. Hold on. Forgive me, y'all. I'm trying to eat at the same time. I haven't eaten all day, so forgive me. Forgive me. Hold on. Where's my pictures at? I just saved a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, hold on. We're gonna find the pictures. Hold on. Give me a second. Y'all see this right here? That's a black American right there. Look at that's a black American right there. You want to see another black American? She was labeled colored. Hold on. Jesus Christ, my thing is messing up for real. Hold on. Look at that. Look at that. Got to give y'all some visuals. The reclassification was real. Was real. The biggest land grab, did y'all know the biggest land grab, and 𝗖𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀 talked about it a little bit. 𝗖𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀 talked about it. The biggest land grab was around 1809. What's up, Kingpin? The original land grab, the land grab, and the biggest slave trade did not happen in the 1600s, did not happen in the 1700s. It actually happened when they outlawed slavery in Britain. When they said no more African slaves can be made into slaves, that's when the biggest slave trade happened here in the U.S. And it happened between the southern natives from 1809 to about 1863. They reclassified us in a little bit of time, rounded them up, sent some out to California, the biggest slave trade happened here after it was outlawed to take slaves from Africa. We start enslaving indigenous in droves. In droves. So whenever you hear our shout out to our copper-colored Indian brothers and sisters, shout out to them. But when I hear them on these TikTok trees talking about, I ain't no slave, I don't know. Can you prove that? Can you prove that? If you can prove it, great. But a lot of them were. A lot of them were. A lot of them were. So let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. I'm about to open it up, and we're gonna chop it up. We're gonna chop it up. I just want to drop some stuff on y'all. And many of these slaves on these plantations, they were either tribal members or reclassified through force. The first American slave was an Indian. This was Howard Zinn, A People's History of the United States. So go look that up. Howard Zinn, A People's History of the United States. He said the first American slave was an Indian. So I want y'all to understand, man, a lot of your family did not come over on ships. Some of them did. But a lot of them were already here. If your ancestors were labeled Negro in 1860 and lived in Alabama, listen, I trace my great-grandfather back to 1833. And my people are from Georgia, Alabama, North Carolina, and West Virginia. So if your people came from Alabama, Georgia, or Mississippi, they may have been indigenous. If any of your people came from Alabama, Georgia, or Mississippi, and mine 100% did, you may have been indigenous. This is why many foundational Black Americans feel different, because a lot of us know we were reclassified off of our tribal land. A lot of us know. Go ask your parents. Go ask your parents. I don't know what you mean, brother, when you say you're gonna look out for me. I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know what you talk. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you're talking about, brother. But go ask your parents. Go ask your grandma. Go ask your grandpa. Go talk to your great aunts, your great uncles. Go talk to the oldest one living in your family and sit them down and get all the secrets out of them now before they pass away. Ask them about their parents. Ask them about their parents' parents. We was Israelites, we was Moors, we was natives, we was Egyptian. Let me show you. All right. I wasn't no Moor. I'll tell you that right now. I wasn't no Moor, and I wasn't no Egyptian. Okay, but some of us are Hebrew Israelites. I'm not going to doubt that. The ones that came over here from the slave trade, they were not like the ones they sent to the Caribbeans or to South America. They were unique people, but they also mixed in and blended in with the indigenous people here. And we all got reclassified as one big Negro. From American Negro, African Negro, to colored, to black. That was our classification. They turned our people into straight up property. That's what they did. That's what they did. Y'all see the dolls rolls? This is pretty much what they did, people. You can thank Walter Pleckert for that. The one drop rule. If you even look Negro, you were Negro. And how they became the majority on this land was through immigration. That's how they did it, because they were the minority. They know they were the minority. White people were the minority in this country until they slaughtered most of the uncivilized tribe. They slaughtered them, enslaved many of them, and then brought in more between 1914. Brought in a lot of people between 1863 and 1914. They brought a bunch of immigrants over here. 1920s, a bunch of them, and they brought the Irish, who became the cake. Who many of them know, if you guys know, they're the ones that started the 𝗥𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁. The Irish, the so-called indentured servants that were Irish, they're the ones that started the 𝗥𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁. They're the ones that terrorized our people. That's just what it is. They're the ones that became the police officers, which became the race soldiers. You understand? And the slave, they were also the slave catchers. This is what happened to us. So for those who don't know our history, when we say we're not African, we're telling you we're not African. We didn't come over on no boat. We were already here. We had thriving governments, thriving societies. We had farming and agriculture down pat. We had that black soil before y'all did over there. Y'all got the black soil from us. We knew how to put the nutrients in the ground to grow phenomenal things. You understand? The first biochemist in the world was George Washington Carver, a foundational black American. So all I'm telling y'all is, we know who we are. We don't got to argue with you about who we are. Everything, we're documented. We're documented. Let me start bringing up some people. We'll start bringing up some people. We're documented. We don't got to make up nothing. We could just stand on business all day long and tell y'all who we are. What's up, Miss Lucky?
Hey, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm all right.
All right. Soaking up this game up in here. It's real over here, ain't it?
Yeah, I like it.
Real over here.
I like to be around like-minded people. You know?
Okay. Where you from? I hear your accent.
I'm from New Orleans.
New Orleans. I love it. Say baby. Baby.
Baby.
Mm-hmm.
What you eating over there?
Some spaghetti with an omelet.
With an omelet?
Mm-hmm. Some eggs, some chicken breasts, some tomatoes, some onions. I'm trying to do a little bit healthy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we were already here.
I know that.
Already here. But see, a lot of us know that. But we got to argue with African and Caribbean to tell them who we are, because they all want to make us out to be Africans. And that's incorrect. What's up, Brent?
Not much, man. Just trying to soak it up.
Yeah, man. It's real, man. Look, I got the dates that y'all need to be. Listen, whenever they tell you an African, point them to the Webster's Dictionary 1828 and say, Google, what is the definition of an American according to the Webster's Dictionary of 1828? And it's going to tell you that they even reclassified the word American so that the Europeans could fit in and become American. The Europeans, prior to 1828, they always knew they were immigrants over here. They always knew that. And they knew that the real Americans were the Aboriginal, copper-colored people. It says it.
So say that again. I'm trying to write it myself. You say Google.
Google
what?
Google the Webster's Dictionary of 1828. Say, Google, according to the Webster's Dictionary of 1828, what is the definition of an American? I'm giving y'all ammunition, so when y'all run into these Pan-Africanists, when y'all run into these Caribbeans and these Africans who try to tell you who you are and tell you about your lineage and your history, you got something to stand on. You can tell them straight up, man, I'm a foundational black American. What are you talking? Who are you? I'm not African. I'm not African.
Okay, I got it. I'm going to email it to myself.
And if they try to tell you, oh, you know, you might run into some, shout out to our copper-colored Indian brothers and sisters. Listen, me personally, I don't care what you call yourself. If you're part of the lineage, you're part of the lineage. If you call yourself an African American and you're part of the foundational Black American lineage, but you just want to call yourself African American, I can't kick you out the lineage. You're part of the lineage. You just don't know what you're talking about. If you're a Black Indian and you're running around telling people I was never enslaved, I'm just going to tell you you're lying because you don't know what you're talking about, but you're still part of the lineage. My people were never enslaved. Many of your people were enslaved. They rounded a bunch of. How do you think they got y'all off the land? And for some reason, when I mention POWs, they seem to get mad. Why are you going to get mad if you because there's only one or two ways they can get you off your land. They had to unalive you or enslave you. And then some of them voluntarily became Negroes because they didn't want to go to the reservations. Right? They opted into colonization and said, hey man, we want to be part of this society. So I guess I'm a Negro. That's what happened.
I did. I have.
All right, let's see who this is. Let's see who this is. Let's see who this is. I'll entertain a little bit, but not too much. How do you say your name, sir? Or ma'am?
It's Sa, just sorry, Sa. How you doing?
Okay. Oh, how you doing, brother? Where you from, man?
Man, I live all over the world, man. Right now, I'm currently in Haiti.
Okay.
But I was born in the United States. So I'm here by choice.
Okay, so where are your people from?
My people? What do you mean, my people? I'm a worldwide citizen. I'm a citizen of the world.
Where's your mom and dad from, brother?
As far as birthplace, where I was born in New York City.
Okay, but where's your mom and dad from?
They're from United States.
Okay, where's your grandparents from?
Man, I don't know. What I want to know is this. Let me ask you a question. You ask me all these questions. I'm trying to learn.
Listen, brother, I'm just trying to find out who you are, and we know who you are by the way you respond. All y'all coming here and y'all ashamed of your homeland. You don't have to be ashamed of your homeland, sir.
Okay,
who's people from?
Who said I'm ashamed of I'm from the world, bro? How am I ashamed?
You're the one dodging the question, brother.
I'm not dodging the question. I'm a world citizen. I'm a world citizen.
Where is your homeland? Where is your
in
homeland?
the world? The world.
Oh Lord. Okay. Well, y'all know what this is, right? Y'all know what this is, right? Y'all already know. But go ahead, brother. I'll let you ask your question. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. So I'm hearing your nonsensical argument about we was already here and this and that or whatever. This nonsense. So when I took my DNA test, how come it didn't say anything about I was from this part of the Americans, Native Americans? I don't get that. It says
because you're not from here, sir. You're obviously not a foundational Black American. That's why.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
why.
Okay.
You may be Black, you may be melanated, but you're not a foundational Black American. That's why.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? Another question? Okay. That may be true. I'm just Black American, I guess. But let me just say this.
No.
So
You're a melanated American.
no, I'm Black. I'm Black.
Okay.
I'm Black.
Okay.
I go by Black American. I don't have any.
Okay, well, Black
Americans
Americans are foundational Black Americans. Black Americans belong to the Black communities here that
No,
have ties here, sir.
I'm Black American and relative to Africa. Okay, but let me ask you a
Okay,
question.
you're African American, sir. You're African.
No, I'm not African American. I am not. I'm not. Don't
African-American.
name me after a continent. I am not a continent. I am Black American. Hey, Elon
You're
Musk
Nigerian
African.
or Ghanaian.
Elon Musk is African American.
Correct.
I am not.
Correct.
Okay, I
And
am
so are
Black
you.
American.
And so
Just
are
let's
you.
just go with that. I'm
And
Black
so are you.
American.
You're African
I'm
American.
Black. I just told you I'm Black American.
Okay.
Knowing that I'm Black, knowing that my ancestors came from Africa. That's all. That's what you're trying
Okay,
to
if
find
your
out. That's the deal.
ancestors came from Africa, you're not Black, sir. If your ancestors came from Africa, you're not Black because they don't use that word Black in Africa, sir.
I don't care what they don't use. I am Black American. I don't care what they use. That is superficial to me.
Okay, keep
I am.
fighting.
Do you know that the South Africans different?
Alive.
Do you know
Keep
that the
alive.
South Africans differentiate
Crashing
themselves?
out. They crashing out. Too much. They crashing out.
They man, they don't want they don't like sound they
Do
don't
you
like
know?
sound truth. They don't like the truth.
Do
They
you
want
know
to
that?
make up the truth as they go.
Do you know that you don't know what you're talking about? Do you know that South Africans differentiate themselves from the Afrikaners by saying they're black South Africans?
Are you South
Do you know?
African, sir?
No, 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 no.
No,
I
we
Is that your
am
don't.
black
homeland? That's your
American.
shame? If
I
you're
am
We
ashamed
black
of
don't
that?
American.
differentiate. We don't differentiate ourselves like that. Even on government official forms, it's not like that. Hey, I can show you if you want to see what it looks like.
So
When
you
did
saying that
when did South Africans start using the term black?
you're saying that when I just
What
Okay.
year did the South Africans
I
start
am going to
using the
tell
term
you. Can I
black?
respond, please? You keep saying, you keep interrupting when you ask a question. That's not how you have a
Go ahead,
conversation.
sir. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead,
Okay.
sir. Go ahead,
So
sir.
you mean I just heard Julius Malema just explained that he
Malema.
was a black South African trying to get his
This is a
land.
Pan-African
Wait a minute,
op,
wait a
man.
minute, wait a minute, wait a
This is a
minute, wait a minute,
Pan-African
wait a
op.
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. You asked me a question, and I'm talking about a leader in South Africa that said it out of his mouth. Do you want me to send you the video? Well, anyway, that said he's trying to get the land back from the Boers, the Afrikaners, for his people. And Donald Trump is trying to say that, hey, look, you're going from discrimination. She says, we black South Africans will not be intimidated. He used that terminology. And I've heard him use it before. Not only him, others use it also.
Okay. Again, when did they start using that terminology of black, sir? When?
I don't know. Look here. Do you want to know when I start using it?
Exactly. It's
Do
foreign to
you
them.
do
They
you want to
got it
know?
from.
Do you want to know when?
You know where the world got black from? They got it
Do
from
you know?
foundational black Americans, sir. That's when people start using the word
Do
black.
you know that when you were you're trying to say that you are in some kind of your people were born in the United States, or not the United States, well, the Americas? Am I correct?
I'm indigenous to the United States, sir. That's what I'm saying. I'm
Okay.
indigenous to the United
Can I
States.
ask you? Can I ask you another question? Have you ever taken a DNA test? Have you ever taken a DNA test? Okay, and it says that you're
And none of my
100%.
people, check this out. None of my relatives came from Africa. Is that shocking to you?
That's highly shocking. Or
That's
you're
shocking to
lying,
you?
or you're telling a bold-faced lie.
There's no lie, man. Look,
You're telling a
I did a
bold-faced.
reveal. I did a reveal. I did it all online, sir. So you can go check it out. But none of
You
my
d-
relatives,
You
none
tell
of my
okay.
relatives
What company did you use?
came from I use ancestry.com. None of my relatives came from the continent of Africa. Zero.
You guys are so delusional. I don't believe this. I can't believe you're perpetrating some nonsense.
Bro. Let me ask him a question.
Can I answer the whole
Thank you
South
for muting
African
him.
thing?
Thank you
Because
for
you
muting him,
guys are
Mom. Thank
both
you.
wrong.
Okay, though. What's up, man? What's up, brother?
I'm too much. Yeah, you know what I've been wanting to know, man. What is the native language the FBA spoke?
We speak a language that no one's supposed to know about, sir. Only certain people within our foundational Black American heritage and group can know. That's what it is. You're not supposed to know about it. We can't teach it to you.
Bro. Nice.
You can't learn it. It's
Now
not for you to know or
now you
learn.
playing games.
It's not a game. No, I'm being. You
now
asked
you
me a
playing
question.
games.
I'm being
Now you
serious
playing
right now.
games, bro.
You're not allowed to
You're
know.
not being
sir.
serious. That's not
No,
serious.
I'm being 100% serious. If you
That's
don't,
not
if you don't
serious
have to
because
believe.
you don't know.
No, I do, but I'm not allowed to tell you about it. You're not allowed to know about it.
Here's the thing, Tuma. Okay, here's the thing, Tuma. It's a secret. All right, okay, I got it. Get
It is a
Here's
secret.
the
You're
thing.
right. It's a
How
secret. It's
can
a
you
secret.
tell us?
And guess what?
I get it. Yes. All right.
You don't tell secrets, right? You're not supposed to tell secrets, right? And so same
All right, I
thing.
get it.
I'm not
I get it.
allowed
I
to
get
tell
it.
you
Let's move
the
on.
secret
Let's
language
move
that we
on.
speak, but
All
we do
right.
speak it. And there have
Okay,
been
I
many
get it. Let's
people.
move
Hold on, many.
Okay,
If
thank
there's
you. I
somebody
get
in
it.
my
Let's
life
move
who's
on.
been in my life in the past, there
How
have been
can
people who came up here and spoke the language before, and we had to tell them, shh, don't do that, don't do that. But they came up here and they were speaking the language.
All right.
So there you go. And I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
But
And
here's
people
the
who get
thing,
in my
though.
live, they
But here's the
know.
thing, though, right? Okay, I get you. I get
It's
you.
a secret
Here's
language.
the
It's
thing, though,
very
right? How
secret.
can you sit here?
Very secret.
How can you sit here and tell us everything about FBA, you the foundation on everything, but yeah, you cannot provide us with a native language that the FBA spoke?
Sir, we are the copper-colored races of America, sir. If you ever heard the Cherokee, the 𝗖𝗔𝗶𝗵𝘁𝘀𝗀𝗶cie, the Choctaw, the Chickasaw, the Seminole, the Blackfoot, that's us. Those tribes have
You
to
still not answering the question.
those tribes speak their language too. So what do you want me to tell you, brother? We just like you have in Nigeria, there are many tribes in Nigeria and they all speak their own language. We have the same thing kind of over here in the Americas too. What can I tell you, sir? We're not all colonized and only speak two languages. There's many tribes within the foundational Black American ranks. We just fall under the lineage of foundational Black American. Y'all can call it an imaginary secret language if you want to, but you're not supposed to know about it. It's just what it is. You're not allowed to know. Okay, so again, I said I'll entertain a little bit of it, but I'm not going to be up here too long.
World. 3 things I don't play about myself, my money, or my man. Mention one of them and best believe I'm gonna be at your.
You got a hot mic, brother. We can't have a hot mic on here. There you go. That brother got up out of here. I didn't drop him. I didn't do nothing. He got up out of here. Go ahead and unmute your mic, Rara. Rara.
I'm unmuted already. I'm just quiet.
Okay,
she's been talking
where
all
are you
the
from,
time.
Rara? Where are you from, Rara?
I'm from South Africa. That's why I wanted
Okay,
to
shout out to South Africa. Shout out to South Africa. What tribe are you?
I'm Betty.
You're what?
Betty.
Eddie. Okay. Shout out to Eddie
Like
Pizza. What's going
Petty,
on? Okay.
like Manny Petty. That's
Okay,
how we
Manny
say
Petty.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So the whole thing of Black and African and stuff like that. What's this pre-apartheid? Yes. South Africans were were just classified between white, black, white, colored, and black, right? But then during the apartheid era, we got reclassified to Bantu, right?
mhm.
And because of the white people were called Europeans. That's why even the same way you guys had it in America during segregation, where they were like colored bathrooms and whatever. We had European bathrooms and Bantu bathrooms, and European people can only sit here. European people are allowed at the beach, blah, 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 etc. I'm not going to get into too much detail into that. So we reclassified as Bantu. But right now, I wanted to just correct that we are African. We're not anything else. Even our government official documents, I can show you a proof, because in January, there was this job that I applied for. And
So tell your brother up there, 𝗖cie, that you're African, because he seems to think that you're Black African.
No, I'm African, because even our government forms, like black for me is just a political racial term that just determines your skin tone different to the other groups. And
I unmuted you, sir. I didn't mute you, but my mods muted you. If you get out of line, they're gonna mute that mic. So, but I unmuted you. But hold your turn. Don't get off the mic yet. I'm talking to Rara. Go ahead, Rara.
Yeah, I was saying that even our government official documents, it's when you're choosing when you're applying for a job, whatever, it'll give you 4 options. It'll give you African, it'll give you white, it'll give you colored, it'll give you Indian. So a person like me will obviously choose African, so we got reclassified.
Is there anything wrong with that?
No, I'm African.
Okay, there you go. I agree with you 100%. A shout out to you, sister. Thank you.
There's Indians in Africa? Like
That's why
they got Indians in Africa.
There are, because during slavery,
not the ones from here, but the ones from India.
I know who you're talking about. I know that's what I know.
Yeah.
So I'm asking.
During slavery, they brought Indians here to KwaZulu-Natal to go work on the sugar plantations. That's why we have Indians here, because of, they didn't go back. So we can't exactly be mad at people who were brought here by force to come work on sugar plantations and be like, hey, like, go back to where you come from, when they were literally slaves. Yeah, so
So let me
becoming
ask you a
more.
question.
Hmm.
Do you have a problem with Black Americans not
No,
identifying with Africa?
no, I don't. I mean, why
Okay,
should I?
there you go. Why? Yeah, exactly. Why should you? It makes sense. Okay.
Not well. I can't dictate who a person is, and no one can dictate who I am. I would never want to speak on other people the same way I don't want other people to speak on me. Like as simple as that. You
Simple as
can't tell me
that.
about my culture or where I come from or anything like that, and try to base it as a fact. There
I
has to
like
be
that.
mutual respect. What's the native language for South Africans? The native language, well, there's 11 official languages because there's like about 8 tribes in South Africa. Because I'm Pedi, I'll speak Sepedi. So if I say hello, I'll say Tobela. There's Zulu, they say Sawubona. There's Xhosa, they say Molo. There's Tswana, they say Dumelang. So I can speak multiple languages in South Africa, but there's no one specific native language.
Okay. Now, are you close to any is your tribe close to any Zulu tribes?
No, they are part of the Nguni tribe, so they're grouped as Ndebele, Zulu, and Xhosa. They mostly come from the southern regions of South Africa, and I come from the northern region of South Africa.
Do you know about this beef going on between supposedly
Yeah,
South
I
Africa?
saw, I've learned about it about 48 hours ago. I
What is that?
did.
Do you know what? Can you explain to me? Because I don't know what it's about. I'm confused.
So, from what I saw in New Orleans, they've been celebrating since 1909, the African Zulu parade and so forth, right? So, when I did my research, I actually even read on the New Orleans website, and I saw that they say that it's an inspiration from the African warriors who fought against the Boers, and they actually defeated them. I think the first time or something like that. So it was just an inspiration that they were warriors who actually fought hard, with spears and stuff like that against that. It's just that I think the reason why the Zulu people feel a bit infuriated by it is that, granted, like you guys are doing something because it's a celebration of this and this, but then the way you are doing it, it's wrong because it does not have even any representation of the Zulu culture, and it also looks like it's also kind of like mocking and stuff like that. With the whole, I understand that the whole Jim Crow era and stuff like that, but the blackface, the way they dress, the way the way they dress, the way they dance, and throwing coconuts into the crowd and stuff like that. So the Zulu people are just saying that, listen, let us teach you about the Zulu culture. But then they started saying, no, you need to do your research and your history to where Zulu come from and na. So that's where the whole beef and debate started happening, because they were like, like you can't tell me as a Zulu person who speaks Zulu. Zulu literally means the heavens, and tell me that I must go do my own history and my own research about my own culture when the war that you guys are talking about happened in the 1800s,
Okay,
and you guys are,
somebody said in the comments, but in 2009, Zulus came to New Orleans to approve
And
it.
approve they did.
well,
Okay,
There's
then
an
okay.
article you can find on Google. There's an article you can find on Google.
but then if
They
that's
came
the
to
case,
New Orleans.
I didn't see that. But then if the Zulu people agree, then but the what's this, the kingdom of the Zulu kingdom is still a monarchy till today, right? Under King Mississippi, like it's actually the biggest monarchy in South Africa. They actually spoke out. They released it on thingy on City Press, one of our newspapers, that they want to have actually a conversation with the people who organize it so that they can actually reach an understanding. But so
But
that's
I
what I'm saying. But
think
if
I
there was a
think the
letter, then I wouldn't know. I
misunderstanding.
don't
I'm
know.
sorry, Rara. Go ahead.
No
I
problem.
think
No
the
problem.
misunderstanding is because I'm from New Orleans.
Yes.
I think the misunderstanding is the blackface. What caused the blackface?
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans being racist at that time.
No, I read about it. I read about where it comes from. The whole they were trying to actually take back their power from the white tea people. I
Right,
read all
right.
about it. Yes.
That's the only like they tried to. So it's like doing two things at once
Mm.
because it's not like making fun of Zulu at all with the blackface. The blackface was just them like showing that they black. That's it. It wasn't about like Zulu black or nothing like that. No, it's not
I
that.
understand that. That's why I'm saying that the whole rage from what I picked up was the fact that, like, when Zulu people are like, okay, let's have a conversation, they were told, no, go back and do your research. You don't know our history. Da, da, da. So it became a whole thing that, like, Zulu people are like, huh, I must go do research about Zulu people. Like, how? Like, how is it possible? So I think that it was supposed to be a moment where two groups of people can come and teach each other, but then it became a think that it's a debate because of no one wants to hear the other side. That's what I truly believe happened.
Right.
Because even the Zulu people themselves, I mean, they just found out about it 48 hours ago. It was literally trending at number 1 on South African Twitter 2 nights ago. So they didn't know about it. That's why I think the outrage is out there. I feel like if people actually knew about it and that understood the meanings and stuff like that, a conversation could have been had. But also I feel like the thing that ignited it to be where it is right now is the whole debate that's been happening between people from America and Africa. I feel like if this is the only conversation that was being had, not everything else, then it would have had a different outcome.
So
Things like
here's
this can
here's
stop
what
now.
people don't understand about Black Americans, and they need to. We take something that the dominant society means for negative, and we flip it and make it positive.
But too much, you know, some people don't have your emotional intelligence, hey, because of when I went into the conversation, when they were busy saying you must know, they're like, why would we even want to be like the Zulu tribe in South Africa where you guys mutilate your clitoris? Don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on TikTok, and things like that. So those were most of the stuff that I was reading. Hence, I'm saying that this could have been a moment where people could have actually just stopped, taken a breath, and listened to each other, not just start attacking each other. And
Right.
like, no, we don't go mutilating ourselves down there. Go find your the other part of your mutilated part, and then we can start having a conversation. And like they just became, it was just horrible. That's why I hardly engage. I'm scared of Twitter. I'm too sensitive for Twitter.
Oh
That's
yeah,
why I
Twitter,
can't.
they're allowed to do a lot more than we're allowed to do here on TikTok. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It can go
So
down over there.
So I'm just hoping that hopefully this whole rage can actually calm down because I'm actually more interested to hearing about it. There's a guy who I read some of his books. He actually recommended that he actually wrote about the Zulu African parade, something about in the early 2000s. So he recommended the books. I actually want to read about it because he's the one who actually came to the defense of the people
Okay.
from New Orleans and said that, listen, it's not what you guys think. I wrote about this back in the early 2000s, just that people didn't really read my book. So if you guys can actually go through it, you'll actually know the history. So
Yeah,
I ordered the
there's
books, so
actually
it
a
should be around.
documentary. There's actually a documentary that they can turn on YouTube that displays the whole Zulu parade and how it started in New Orleans and where it is today. And if you watch it, you see how it goes from negative to white people doing blackface to Black Americans getting a hold of it and flipping it and turning it into something positive to where they're doing they're doing outreach, they're helping the homeless. I mean, they're doing so many things
Yes,
with that,
I get it.
and
That's why
it's
I'm saying
super
that with
positive.
me, yeah, that's what I'm saying with me because I read a lot. That's why I knew, even when I saw it, the first thing that came to my mind was the Jim Crow era, because I read a lot, but not a lot of people do that. So some people are just walking into this topic. What's this? They walk into it like blindsided and they just take it at surface level. So that's where the misconstruction actually came from. I mean, like if you can even see right now with everything I just said right now, someone in the comment is like, it's our history to New Orleans, stay in your lane. Those are the kind of comments that people are getting, like, stay in your lane, you Zulu people. But then when you're telling a a person who it's their tribe, their ethnicity, it was inspired from them, then it becomes, how it becomes like a bit.
Right.
No, see, listen. Listen. Here's the issue. If you respect Black Americans, we're gonna respect you. This is something that's been going on for a long time, and then all of a sudden now in 2025, it's a big deal. It's a big deal only because there's this whole thing where Black Americans are saying we know who we are, and you're not gonna tell us who we are. You're not going to disrespect us and take our culture and act like it came from there when everything we invented and everything that we've done came from here in the Americas. Nothing that a Black American created came from Africa. But that's been the narrative for so long. And we've never had any problems with Africans or Caribbeans or especially South Africa. We've always showed South Africa love. When y'all was going through your apartheid, our people was the one making sure the world knew what was going on.
I read about it. I've seen it before. Yes, they were
Our
actually the
people.
one who
When
actually
Nelson
standing with
Mandela,
us.
listen, Nelson Mandela came over here to the Black community. We brought him over here. And when he left the Black community, he left with $14 million.
Yes. No, I know about all of
We
that. That's why I'm
paper
saying
them
that.
up.
But to be honest, Too Much, right? This whole conversation even between the Black Americans and the African people, if you actually were to pay attention and be honest, you'd actually realize that South Africans are not really coming into the chat. South Africans are not opening lives about this, telling
No,
you
no,
guys
it's
that,
not. You're right. It's West.
yeah.
It's we got a real
No,
problem with
we
West
haven't.
Africa right
We've
now.
never had any issues with Black
But
Americans. As a matter of fact, like any
a
Black American.
few, a
Sorry.
few South Africans though. It is a few South Africans that are trying to stick up for Africa in
No,
the
I get it.
whole.
That's what I'm saying. We support everyone. The only time South Africans will actually, like, South Africans are, whenever we come together is because of somebody has actually done something that actually really triggered all of us. But in most cases, we support people like everywhere. Even with the whole beef between South Africa and Nigeria. Before, we supported everything. The music was topping our charts in South Africa, even the movies and stuff like that, and so forth. It's only like when it started coming with the whole thing, people telling us that we are baby mamas, we are, what's this? We are lazy. We don't own our lands. The white people own our lands. We spend all day smoking the South African version of crack. We do this and this. That's when the beef started.
But here's another thing you got to understand about Black Americans, and this is just what it is. We usually do not throw the first stone. We're
Well,
only
yeah, I get
responding.
it. That's why I'm
We're
saying that
only
no one will have
responding,
issues.
and we're just better at roasting than most people because it's part of our culture. We
Yeah,
invented
but
we invented
everybody's
modern
dragging
day
us
comedy.
into it.
Modern day comedy was invented by Black Americans. The comedy that you see today, we invented it. So we're not gonna lose a roasting battle to anybody. You can
I
throw a
get it, but
stone,
then
and when we roast you, we're gonna make sure you feel it. And it's no disrespect to all the people there. It's just that y'all are some people. You're gonna catch some strays because nobody's checking those people. Nobody from South Africa is saying, "Hey, you shouldn't say that to Black Americans. Leave them alone." Nobody in West Africa is telling other West Africans, "Hey, leave those Black Americans alone." Nobody in East Africa is telling other East Africans, "Leave Black Americans alone."
But
What's
do you know
going
what
on?
happens when that? Do you know what? I have a clip on my daughter's phone. The last time South Africans try to actually say this, when the whole Indian thing debate started happening, they were attacked hard, heavy. I have the clip like it was from a live. They were attacked on the hard and heavy, and they keep telling us that we are trying to. What did they say? They said that we are trying so bad to be like you guys and stuff like that. So it's not a matter of you don't call them out. Sometimes like the energy, when you know that you're gonna argue with a wall, with an actual wall
But
that's just
but
gonna
but
keep.
what we're saying is that's your people. That's not our people. That's your
Yeah, but I'm
people.
talking about they're not my people from South Africa. I'm just talking about people from other parts of Africa. Like when they start doing that and you try to
No,
say,
black people.
guys, just let
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
They go like it's literally like sometimes when you're having a debate with someone and they've got nothing else to say, they just go below the belt and start throwing
yeah.
insults.
Hmm.
And so that's what basically happens. So it's not a matter of you can't call them out. They just now start diverting and using.
But that's what's usually happens, right? Because they don't know how to roast, they just say a lot of disrespectful stuff and think that's roasting. We don't do that. We'll roast you first, and then we'll leave the insults to insult you. But we're gonna roast you first, and it's gonna be funny. We're gonna hee ha ha over it, and then you're gonna say something disrespectful, and then we're gonna say something that we're gonna match that energy. That's what it is like. People try to get butthurt over African booty scratcher. But what y'all don't know is we were all called African booty scratcher before you were called African booty scratcher. I know I got called African booty
I know
scratcher
that
when I
from
was in
Boys in the
elementary school.
Hood.
If you grew up where I grew up, you got called an African booty
Like I
scratcher.
literally know that from Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
That's why I heard it. I didn't even know that it was a thing.
Nobody in Boys in the Hood was African, okay? We were all just Black Americans and we were all just kicking jokes. And that's what it was. The first thing you gotta the first thing
What
you have to
does
grow
citizen
from
mean?
the first thing
What
you
does
have to grow
citizen
from
mean? What's an African police?
we y'all like to scratch the butt sometime. I don't know. Everybody scratched their butt. And the misnomer was we were all Africans, right? We were all generic Africans. So you're an African booty scratcher. She's an African booty scratcher. That's just what it was. We were children. Children and children created hip hop. It was children, teenagers between the ages of 12 and 16, 10 and 16, who created this genre that everybody loves today. Children. This is the genius of Black Americans. We do stuff. It's like when we're left alone, or we're kicked out of something, we'll create a paradise wherever we're at. We'll create a paradise in the hood. Wherever we're at, we're gonna make it fly for us, popping for us. We're gonna thrive. That's just part of our culture. We get
Right.
it.
To piggyback off what you just said too much, blacks in New
That's a
Orleans
fact.
were kicked out of Mardi Gras. They were kicked out of parades. So that's why they started the Zulu parade. That's why they wear the black face to let people know, hey, we could do our own thing. And
That's
that's
it.
why Zulu like the #1 parade on Mardi Gras Day.
Man, listen, black people try to show up to those discos, but they weren't allowed in. They were like, no,
Right.
dressed like that, you cannot come in here. No, no, no. So what the inner city kids did was created their own thing. We've been creating genre music since the early 16, 17,
Yes.
1800s. That's what we do.
Yeah, damn near every single genre.
Yeah, country music was created by us because we were working on the dang railroad. The blues was created for us because we had the blues. That's what it was. We thrived
Jazz.
in the worst situations. We thrived. While America was going through the Great Depression, we were having a Harlem Renaissance at the same damn time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
Let me holler at James. What's up, James? Been a minute, brother. Been a minute. I haven't
What's
seen you in a
up,
while.
partner?
How you been, sir?
Yeah, man, everything is good, man. You know, I'm hanging in there. How you doing, brother?
Man, just trying to stand on business, man. That's it, man. Just trying to stay in my lane, stand on business, and wake up the people that need to be woke and let the people know they need to be let known. That's
Right,
it.
right. I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing here, man. I really do. There's a lot of people that need to hear it. There's a lot of people that ain't ready to hear it. And hopefully the people that are ready to hear it are open to accept the fact that they've been everything that they've been told is a lie.
It's a lie. And we are learning, even all Americans are learning that the conspiracy is no longer a conspiracy.
Right.
We're learning that.
Yep.
All Americans are waking up from the propaganda and witchcraft, and you can no longer call a person a conspirator anymore. That's a conspiracy. What all that means is there's some truth to
You're
what
telling
they're
the truth.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it means.
Yep.
Because all the stuff that people have been trying to tell people from and wake them up, you know, as a Black American, we've been trying to tell America that, hey, man, the police is wrong, the news is fake, the narratives are being spun around, and all it took for was Donald J. Trump to come on stage and say, hey, man, fake news, fake news, fake news. And it destroyed
Exactly.
Donald Trump destroyed all the propaganda and witchcraft in this country by him damn self. Okay.
Yes, he
He
did.
just said fake news.
I'll tell you right now,
you're fake. You're fake. And he just started doing that, and people just start putting clips up of all the news people saying the exact same story, the exact same narrative, and they start saying, "Wow, maybe these Black people were right.
Yep,
maybe they were telling the truth. Maybe we need to pay attention." So same thing. When we try to tell you that we already been here, and y'all keep trying to tell us you're African, nigga, you're African, and we're telling you we've already been here. And it's documented.
Been here.
It's documented. Did you know, James? I don't know if you were here. Were you here yesterday?
Why do people get so mad?
That's my thing, James. I can't understand the anger.
Yeah. Did you?
Why are you so hostile about
Why do they
it?
get so mad?
Yes. I
Right.
keep asking
You would
the
think
same
everyone
thing.
would be dying to know the truth.
Don't you want to know? Yeah. Don't you want to know the truth? But you know what?
I don't
You know what we found out? People would rather believe the lie
Right.
instead of believe the truth,
Yep.
because the lie is so much better.
Yep.
The truth
Yep.
causes them to confront themselves in the mirror, and nobody wants to be honest with themselves in
I
the
found
mirror.
it.
I mean,
Oh, what that is, Rara?
Yep.
No, it's just the what I was talking about so that he can just see.
Oh, what y'all click on? Oh, okay.
okay,
So y'all
African
have
black
color
folk.
too. Okay.
Okay, okay.
I just wanted to show you that we African. I would take African. There's no other option there for me.
There you go. There you go. So when all y'all keep saying that there are these mysterious black Africans running around, there isn't one. When you're in Africa, you're not black. You're only black when you come to America. And you don't have to be us. You can be you. That's all we're saying. You don't have to cosplay with us. You don't have to sign up for our grants and loan. You don't have to become an African American or Black American when you come to America. You can be an African American and get your stuff. Don't take our stuff. Get your stuff, and we'll respect you. We'll respect that.
My people are gonna be mad at me for saying this, but I really want my people to come back home. Hey,
Man, don't you want
not
them
my
to?
South African people, because we hardly migrate. But like, I want every single person from Africa to come back home because
How will Africa ever be great
that's
if
what I'm
everybody
saying.
great tries to leave Africa?
That's what I'm saying. If we actually put our hands together, we could actually build. We have the stuff that we need right here. So
That's
if my
right.
people are in this panel, guys, come home.
That's right. Let me holler at Cynthia real quick. Cynthia, how you doing? Go ahead and unmute your mic, Cynthia.
Cynthia. Oh,
Okay. We're gonna go to
Gerald.
Geraldine. I think Geraldine was first anyway. Sorry about
It
that.
was, yeah, they was first.
Go ahead, Geraldine. Unmute your mic, Geraldine. Let me see. I don't got you muted. Let me just make sure I don't got people muted up here. Go ahead and turn on your mic, Geraldine. We do the same thing for Cynthia.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Okay. Go ahead.
It's actually 𝗔𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁. They got my last name and making it put together.
So what's your
Can
name?
you hear me, hoes? Oh, 𝗔𝗶𝗴. That's
Okay.
𝗔𝗶𝗴.
Gerald. Okay.
They threw that A together, made it look. It's okay though.
Okay.
But it was kind of funny. The sister was saying that because I was been planning on. I want to give me like a little house in Senegal, and I'm trying to figure out where's a good place to go. If we got a few dollars to spend, I want to get somewhere, where it's not too many uprisings and nothing going on. And yeah, that's what I'm just trying.
Okay. Where are you from, Jarrell? Are you from here?
If that's okay for her to tell me that.
Are you from?
I'm originally from here. Yeah, just military, just been all over.
Okay, so you're an
Yes, sir.
expat.
I'm originally from here. Yeah, Tennessee.
You're an expat.
Yeah.
Okay. How long you been in
Yes,
Africa?
sir. Yes, sir. Not too long. I went to Niger, and then that's just got a little bit too rough, because that's where I was in my last station, and then it's just crazy over there right now.
I
So
imagine.
I don't know. I know being from America is kind of rough.
Have you
Once
been
they
to
find out,
have
yeah, it's kind of make it.
have you been to
It's a
Kenya? Have you been to Kenya?
no. See, that's what I see. That's
Go
the
to
thing. A
Kenya.
lot of this Africa is so dang big, man. It's
Go
just so
to
big. It's
Kenya.
hard to
Go to
just go see it.
go to
Okay,
Nairobi.
Kenya.
You will
Okay,
enjoy it there, and you might
okay,
want to stay there. It's popping over there in Kenya. Go to Kenya.
okay,
I can tell you right off the bat,
okay.
Nairobi.
See, that's what I was saying.
They
Okay,
got 5G internet over
Nairobi.
there.
Oh
They
yeah.
got 5G internet over there. They got paved roads over there.
Okay. Yeah, I always that's why I be listening.
So check out
It's funny
Nairobi.
you say that, but they have us believe that we don't. It's like we don't have anything over in Africa, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's
But
matter of fact, Kenya is probably one of the most developed African countries out there. But you'd be surprised if you just travel around and see. And that's one thing I like about Black Americans. The same propaganda that these Africans try to say about, oh, they told us not to hang out with you because you were lazy and you were this and
yeah,
you were that. Black Americans, we gonna go see. We never want,
Yep.
some of us will say, yeah, they all live in mud huts, but a lot of us are saying, no, man, they don't all live in mud huts. They have houses. They have things going over there. We don't just down talk. Some of us has been over there and
Yeah,
seen
because
for ourselves, and we come back and tell our people, hey, man, listen, man, Kenya's not like the rest. Kenya's not like West Africa. I'll tell you that. Very hospitable people in Kenya, man. Go check out Kenya,
yeah.
man.
Oh yeah.
You'll enjoy yourself. You'll enjoy yourself.
Yes, sir. Yeah, but I just think that it's the educational system that's in America that's done screwed a lot of us. And when a lot of us are kind of lazy, we don't want to go do the research until we get older. And then, like, yeah, it's just, that's all it is. If we don't know, and then we don't want to go find out. And it's kind of hard for us to get out of those bad ways. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man.
And then once we do that, and then we like,
right. Listen, I'm from California. Okay, there's a lot of brothers in Los Angeles that you can't get out of Los Angeles. I had one of my homeboys tell me.
I lived in Long Beach. I
don't
know.
I had one of my homeboys tell me, I don't know if I could ever leave the hood. I'm like, what? What you mean? What you mean you don't know if you could ever leave the hood? What you talking about? I was looking like, man, that's kind of a strange thing to say, but that's the thinking and the mentality of that area over there.
That's right.
Yeah, especially South Central. Yeah,
they don't want to leave South Central.
Yes, ma'am.
They don't want to leave.
Yeah.
If you want to visit Africa, hey, you must classify it to the places that you want to see. So you must decide for yourself. Do you want to see nature? Do you want to see like animals like the Big Five? Do you want to go to places that look more like your Hawaii with the tropical beaches and stuff? Or do you want so you have to just make a list of the stuff that you want to see. Then it will make it easier for you to actually know which countries to go to.
So yeah, I just want to see it all. I mean, I'm getting older now, and then, you know what? We all got a life. Our life we won't be here forever. So I just want to try to see as much as I can before I'm gone.
No, Kenya
have
is
you been to Southeast
a good
Asia?
place to be.
Jarrell, have you been to Southeast Asia?
No, sir. That's it. I haven't been there yet.
Okay. What about South America?
Yeah. New Zealand. I've been to New Zealand too.
Okay. How was
Australia?
Australia. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Yeah,
sir.
Jarrell, to kind of back up what...
And that's the thing, a bit, yes.
Yeah,
yes, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, to kind of back up what Too Much said, Kenya is popping. I went to a few different states in Kenya. I had a rental car, and it's all paved road. The people are very hospitable. In my opinion, it's Nairobi is very similar to the U.S. I don't compare the two because it's two different size economy, so that's why I don't compare the two.
Man, I think somebody code switch in Kenya. They spoke with a Black American accent, and then they switched right over to a Kenya accent right in front of my face.
Yeah,
like when she spoke to me like a Black American, almost to where I was like, "Are you from the U.S.?" And then all of a sudden she got around Kenyans and she start talking with the Kenyan accent. I was shocked.
Yeah, I mean you get your
out there. They code switch out there.
You get a real nice apartment for $300-400 a month. Real nice, something that you'll pay over $1,000 here in the state.
Check this out. I was on a farm.
Yeah, with top-notch security.
Yeah, check this out. I was on a farm. You know how much I was paid a month to rent this farm with farm animals and everything? You know how much I paid a month? $169.
Wow. Where were you though?
Farm. I was in 𝗖cie. I was out there in 𝗖cie.
Really?
Yeah.
How long were you out there for?
3 months. I mean, when I go out there, I don't listen. When I travel, I don't want to do 2 weeks because that's not enough for me.
Yeah.
I got to do 3 months, and I got to 𝗔𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀𝗀𝗶. I got to get all the work off from the U.S. because when you're in the U.S., you work.
Yeah.
But man, when I travel, I want to get all. Man, listen. By the time I come back, I'm wishing I didn't come back because I was on vacation for too long.
Yeah. I did a month, but I didn't do the whole month in Kenya. I did about 7 days in London, 7 days in Egypt, and then 7 days in Kenya.
The place I had to get out of really, really quick was Egypt. Oh, I did not like Egypt. No.
Really?
No, the food. Oh, no.
Where in Egypt were you? I
I was
I
in,
had a great time in Egypt. Real cheap.
man. I
Were you
could.
in
Did you?
Cairo?
Too
Yeah, I
much.
went.
I'm gonna give advice. Any country with Arab people, be
Yeah,
it
I was.
Turkey.
Yeah, I was in Cairo. Did you eat the food? Hold on.
Oh,
Hold
it's a
on.
bad echo.
You gotta get off the Bluetooth. And then we gonna come right to you next, Negro. We're gonna come right to you next. But yeah, I feel you. Listen, I was in Morocco. I was in Egypt. I was in Turkey.
And the
And the
foodie
place
and
that
the
I
food is
had to
bad,
leave
right?
quickly, I
Yes,
did
their
not
food is
want to stay.
tasteless.
Right,
Their
right.
food has no
Egyptian food
flavor.
is good. I beg to
No
differ
ways.
on that
There's no
one.
Arab country that has good food. They have good desserts. They have amazing
Uh,
desserts.
Listen. Hold it. I can't vouch for that. I had the best cheesecake I ever had. The best
I'm telling you,
cheesecake I
best
ever
coffee
had.
I've ever had.
The best cheesecake I ever had was in Egypt at the airport.
That's
Yes,
what
I
I'm
did.
Yeah.
saying. They have the
For
best
me,
desserts,
The,
but
the
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 food is
cheesecake was
nasty.
fantastic, but the food,
It's disgusting. I agree.
no,
I
Rara.
agree.
What I
I
had
still,
was I didn't have Are you guys familiar with kebab?
yeah, the
hmm?
meat that you chew
Ye-
forever. But anyway, I'm sorry. But
Yeah,
like
my
any
experience was
Oh
Arab
different.
Lord,
country,
that's here in the States. That
but
meat
I'm
you
sorry, but
just
any
chew
Arab
up.
country for me does not have like the food is tasteless. It does not have flavor. It does, and for someone who's like me, who can cook
To-
like flavorful food, your stews, your oxtails and stuff like that. If I have to go to a country like I've been to Turkey too, and the only thing I enjoyed there was the seafood. Even the lobster was not nice, and I had to drop 20K on it. So, I'm sorry, but the
I
desserts.
was in Istanbul, and it was cool. I'll just say it like that. It was cool.
Which side of it? It depends which
Okay.
side you are because there's the Asian side and the European side. I had more fun on the
I
European
was on the European side, and I saw some Africans there too. I mean, it was
Where,
cool.
Istanbul or Egypt?
Istanbul.
Istanbul.
Okay.
But the food was
I've been to
horrible.
Istanbul twice. I went once when I was a kid with my dad in the military, and I lit a mattress on fire, and they tried to put me in jail.
What?
They put kids in jail in Istanbul. They tried to, man, my dad was not going to let it happen. He was like, you ain't taking my son to jail. But I lit a mattress on fire, and they tried to put me in jail, and I had to go to court. I had to go
You
to
know how
court.
strict those countries are. The only
Yeah,
thing
but
I love
I
about
had
it
to
is
go to
it's
court.
cheap.
too
I'm
much.
sure you were
And
In
spending
once
my
I got
opinion,
gone,
I'm sure you were
Egypt is the
spending like
cheapest country I've
like
been to.
no, Istanbul is the cheapest.
Where? No, I've not been to Istanbul. I've not been to
No, like
Istanbul.
you know the South African rand, right? The South African rand against the US dollar is now maybe sitting at I think it's sitting at like 18 rand, 18 rand for $1. But when I was in Istanbul, I was rich. Like I was a rich bitch. Like I was
That's how I
rich.
felt in Egypt. I
Like yeah,
literally could not eat $5 worth of food. Literally.
that's what I'm saying. But the food is
brother,
horrible. The desserts are
you got a
amazing.
stomach then. Your stomach must be built for that.
No,
Man,
no. I was
I didn't
having
like
stuff
the
that I was
smell.
familiar with.
I didn't like the
You know they're
smell.
big on fried chicken there too, right? They're big on fried chicken, rice, and all of that.
Nothing I see from them vendors I want. Nothing.
But even the fried chicken is not nice. That's what we're trying to tell. When you eat fried chicken, you need to feel that crunch. You need to feel that flavor in it. You can't feel
I
a
mean,
tasteless
there's a
chicken.
couple North African countries that I won't go to. Egypt was the exception. For example, you won't find me in Morocco. You won't find me in Algeria.
I was in Morocco.
I'm not real big on those countries. I
Morocco
didn't.
was cool. Morocco was cool, but I did not like eat Morocco. I'll tell you one thing, Morocco is cleaner than Egypt. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah. Oh, much cleaner. Yeah, no
Morocco is
doubt.
cleaner than Egypt. And look, I'm not eating no unclean food, man. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna have a dude sneeze on my burger and then try to hand it to me. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Well, let me hear from the Negro. The Negro, what's up, sir?
Yeah, because I'm making him echo.
The
Hey, fam,
Negro.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, I was just, man, coming in, hearing some of this knowledge that you be spitting and, listen to other perspectives and just kind of mainly just soak up the game and come in and give you some likes
Appreciate it,
and
brother. Appreciate it.
show you some love and, yeah, do what I can do to support you. Listen, sit back and kind of laugh at some of these characters that be coming up in here. But But yeah, man, I appreciate you keeping it real. Hey, and thank you for tapping in on Funded Socially and putting your knowledge out there.
Yeah, yeah. I tapped
Yeah,
in. I said,
yeah,
let me check this thing out. I see a lot of Black Americans on there. I got happy. I was like, okay,
oh,
we
yeah,
got a space over here. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No joke, man. That's real. That's why when you brought that up that night, I said, man, hey, come over here, check it out. This is us. So yeah, man. I appreciate you and yeah, that's reciprocal. It goes both ways. We appreciate the knowledge as well, fam. So
Yeah. So can I run lives over there like I do over here?
oh yeah, same, bro. and
Okay.
and we be in there. I mean, we're building it. If we build it, they will come. But yeah, bro, you could do it right there. The only difference is we ain't on the WPI or White People's Institution. So yeah, I mean, I would much rather do it and talk all these brothers and sisters into going over there and funding our own shit or stuff.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm gonna really take some time, and I'm gonna start dropping some videos over there, and I'm gonna start doing some lives, and just taking the field. But I like the fact that there are so many Black Americans now. These are Black Americans, and not just people saying I'm
Hell
Black
no,
American. They're
bro.
actually Black Americans.
These are lineage. I mean, for the
Okay,
majority,
okay.
I mean, not even for the majority. Everyone in there is doing their research or has done their
I see a
lineage.
lot of genealogy people on there. I see a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
people. I see a lot of genealogy people on that site, man. I see a lot of
yeah,
genealogy. So y'all go
yeah.
check it out, man. Go ahead and shout out the site, man. Go ahead so people can
Okay,
know how to find it. Go ahead and shout it out for the people.
will do. I'll put it down in the chat. But fund it socially, funded for us by us, and we're really there building. There's farmers. There's
Two
you
farmers.
met Sister Ish, musical genius and artist, digital art. There are real estate people over there. There are the one and only Mel Cruz. If you've heard of her, she's on Funded Socially. This is really about us. So please join it. Just as Too Much did. Check
Ain't
it
no
out.
white man. Ain't nobody behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Hell no. No, it's us. Bro, it's us. I'm telling you, I'm working with the real movers and shakers of that top. And no, bro, it's us. No, no.
Any let me see how I'm gonna say this. Any Demo either are there a lot of Democrat shields over there?
Man, they are everywhere, but I really don't see a lot over there. They know we ain't playing. There's a
Okay.
there's a brother over there. His name's Brother Mulko, and he's all about he is all about running them fake ones out of there. So when he sees when any of us in that group sees fraudulent behavior, they're calling it out and asking to show receipts. So it's like that, bro. It really is.
I saw something where somebody was typing something in a different language, and they said you need to go to another room where
Oh
they
yeah.
speak your language. I saw that.
Oh
I was like,
yeah.
oh, these people, you
Oh
gotta go.
yeah.
I saw that. I saw
They
that.
ain't playing, bro. They ain't
Okay.
playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out then. Y'all go check out Funded Socially. Go check it out. You can download it off the Play Store. It's called, but it's under something else on the Play Store. What is it on the Play Store? It's called something else on the Play Store. On the if you have an Android or the App Store or whatever, it's called something else. I think it starts with an M, but there's like a feed that you can go to that's funded socially, and you just connect on that feed, and you're just a bunch of Black Americans just,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
have their
I'm gonna put it in the chat right now, so it'll be down here so they can see it. But please check us out, y'all.
Okay, check it out. There you go. Check it out. We got something. We got something going. And y'all check out fbacoin.org. Check out the website. Do your due diligence. We're trying to, we're not trying to, we're going to raise about $500,000 to stake our coin. And then somewhere around probably May, June, or July, we're going to release about another 250 million coins to the market. and it's going to be phenomenal, man. That's all I can tell you. It's going to be phenomenal. But do your due diligence. You know, anytime you're dealing with cryptocurrency, you want to make sure you do your due diligence. Go to the website, check out the white paper, read everything. Trust me, it's worth the read. This is a cryptocurrency, first of its kind ever. There's no coin out there like it, and it's 100% for us, by us. No outsider worked on this coin. It's 100% foundational Black American put this together, and it's on the market for us. It's going to be our generational wealth. It's going to help us bridge the gap between us and the dominant society. So just check it out. Do your research. FBAcoin.org. FBAcoin.org. It's phenomenal. That's all I'm going to tell you. So what's up, 𝗤𝗏𝗏?
Yeah,
Back again.
you know, I actually have a couple questions for a person who is as well traveled as you are. I'm surprised you don't have a better relationship with people from Africa,
I do.
because
I don't have any
I
problem with
kind
that.
of
I
I
don't
kind of
have
tend
any
to
problem
see.
with it. The only Africans I have problem with are the ones on TikTok. But in real life, I don't got no problem with no African.
Is you very well traveled. Usually people that are like that are very open-minded because they get the chance to experience different
Listen, you just heard
cultures.
me. You just heard me big up Kenya. I didn't put Kenya down. I big up Kenya.
You did, but this is
It
not
was
my first
popping when
time
I
on the
went out there.
live though.
It was popping. It was pop. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was occasional scams and stuff like that. But that's nothing. I can handle that.
Yeah, because see, the thing is, a lot of people who, down Africa really don't know Africa. I had a person ask me, do they have, what was it? Ubers in Kenya. I'm like, even if they didn't, they do have Ubers in Kenya, but even
Yeah,
if they
Uber and
didn't,
Kenya.
though, it's an African country. They have their own culture.
Yeah,
Why do they
they
have to have
have
Uber?
matatus and all that other stuff. There's motorcycle bikes and those. I mean, Kenya is popping. They got taxis. I mean, they don't have any Ubers where I was at. They have Ubers in
Oh, they have
Nairobi.
Ubers. Oh, they have, they
In
have Ubers.
Nairobi,
Yeah,
in the big city, they
they
got Ubers.
they do, they do.
But I travel to the countryside. I like to, if I go somewhere to a country, I don't want to just stay in the tourist. I want to go see what I can see.
Yeah, I kind of did that too. I went from Nairobi to 𝗤𝗄𝗃𝗃. Are you familiar with that area?
I'm not. What is that? Northern? Is that southern? What is that by?
I can't say, but it's about 4 hours away from Nairobi. It's
About 4
a
hours away.
huge,
Okay, I was like 8 hours away. Okay,
yeah. And then,
I was deep,
and
deep, deep into the country. I think
oh,
my next door neighbor was Tanzania was the next
okay.
door neighbor, and then maybe 4 hours away was Uganda.
Yeah, and then I left 𝗤𝗄𝗃𝗃. I went down to Boringo County in the 𝗪𝗪 Ravines. I don't know if you're familiar with that area, which is about another 5 hours away from.
I don't know where you was at, brother. I don't know. Were you in
Oh yeah.
Kakuma, man? I don't know. What tribe is over there?
I have a few Kalenjin friends, so I had a
Kalenjin.
chance to.
Okay, I know about the Caligents. Yeah. Okay, I remember.
Yeah, I had a.
I drove when you come out of Nairobi, you drive through Caligent.
Yeah, I had a chance to meet to mingle with some Maasais, and then from the Maasais I went to
I love the
uh
Maasai. I love the Maasai.
yeah,
They poppin'. I like
yeah,
I like all the goats and the tribal wear and the
yeah,
jumping and all that stuff, man. I dig it. I dig it.
that's what I had a chance to do. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I would expect you to defend African, but at the same time, I do feel like
I
for a
just
person
stand
who's
on
as well
business.
traveled,
Listen. I stay in my lane. I just stand. Listen, as long as I don't deviate from the truth, I'm fine. I just stand on
yeah,
business. That's what I do.
I
I'm
understand.
straightforward with everybody I'm with. There's
We,
no hidden agendas here. I'm gonna one thing you're gonna know being around me. I'm gonna tell you what it is. You're never gonna have to worry or wonder what's this brother thinking. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be straight. I'm gonna, hey, do you like this?
like say
Nah.
for example, like for me, part of the issue that I have is I appreciate all cultures. So people sometimes get the wrong impression, like maybe I'm trying to either be FBA or I don't know what impression they get, but I'm like, I can be proud of my own culture and yet still be down with FBAs.
Exactly.
And I'm not down with FBAs for the sake of trying to be FBAs. It just so happened that a lot of my homies I grew up with happen to be Black Americans. I'm talking about people that I went to,
Brother,
middle
but
school with, high
if
school.
they heard you speak on this TikTok site, they gonna get up in that ash, and you know it.
Nah, because they
heard some of the
because
things you be saying on these
they
TikTok streets.
they
They're
know
a
where
real
I
Black
stand.
American.
No,
They
no,
don't do
no.
that business.
They
They're
know
gonna-
where I stand. In fact, if they were to be on that site, they would defend people like me. They'll say, "Hey, some of the things that you guys are saying," they say, "Man, you got to get to know these people." That's what they'll tell you.
So
I'm talking.
what you're saying is you're hanging around a bunch of Pan Africanists, right? Because we do
No,
have
they're not.
Black Americans who are
They're
Pan
not Pan African. It just so happens. I'll give you an example. If I have Black American friends that have known me 20 plus years, they're not gonna switch up because they're not gonna see because they know people like me. They're not hearing about me, but they experience me firsthand. And it's the same thing with me. That's why I can't talk bad about you guys because, like I said, not just because I have homies that are Black Americans, but when I see a Black American,
Is this
Black
the same
Americans
for,
make.
hold on. Is this the same for guy that was here yesterday?
No, listen now. If I get on the live and you guys bashing me, you bashing my people, I have to defend my people.
Who bashed your
Because
people?
I come on there, I'm on the FBA live. You got 5 FBAs going for my head. I'm the only one.
Who bashed your people? Nobody bashed
Oh,
your
you
people.
oh, you know Reba, whatever her name was, she did more than she had to yesterday, telling me about my
Hey.
own language.
Hey.
She said French
No,
is
you were
Haitian.
disingenuous about your language. There's
But
two
that's not
national
true.
languages. French is
She
higher.
did not know what she
Listen, no, she did. French,
much.
the French language
Too much.
is higher than the Creole language. That is a fact.
Too much. Then can you explain to me why half the country doesn't speak French? I don't speak French. I don't.
Because
So
it's
how is
meant
it an official language?
It's meant for the high society. It is the official language. Listen, brother.
That's not how it works. I can tell you how it works.
No, listen.
Next time you'll know.
Okay. Well, let me show you how much I know. Okay.
Okay.
My ex-wife was Haitian, sir. Listen. No, hold on. Let me show you. C'est pas pour that. Ma fait chanter pour.
I can get that.
My
But
come on, brother. Brother,
it doesn't change the fact that I know what I'm talking about, though.
I used to attend a Haitian church where they spoke mainly in French Creole and then a little bit of English. And I'm sitting next to her like, what did she just say? And just, I mean, this woman was so passionate that you could feel the presence of God, but I didn't know what she was saying. I was like, what is she saying?
Do we know where Haitians come from?
But too much. We don't. It's not the official language is Creole because the whole country speaks Creole, but not everyone speaks French.
It's not. My ex-wife spoke 3 languages. She spoke French, Creole, and she spoke Spanish.
No, but how you gotta tell me about a country that I'm from?
Brother, we just Googled it. Googled it. And Google said that French was the dominant language and Creole was the secondary language. Now, of course,
it's not.
That's what Google said.
French is the business language, but French is not the official language.
Then that's the dominant language. The business language is the dominant language. That's why everybody speaks English, because English and Mandarin are the dominant business languages. That's what it is.
Can you please explain to me that why half the country doesn't speak French? That's the question that I'm having.
Poverty.
What does poverty have to do with the language?
Poverty.
That has nothing to do with the language.
Yeah, it does. Poverty.
No, it doesn't.
Listen,
No, it doesn't.
There are places in Africa where people mainly speak their tribal languages and they speak less Swahili.
I mean, I can get that, but I'm telling
Depends
you,
on how far out in the sticks you are. But you're not going to.
it's not. It can't.
You're not going to
It
sit
can't
here and
be.
tell me. You're not going to sit here and tell me that if you want to make money in Haiti, that you're going to make it only speaking Creole. You just said it yourself. French is the business language. So if you aspire to make money, you're going to know French.
By official, I mean the professional language. That's what you will hear like in some of the banks, but it's not the official language because most people in Haiti, I'm not gonna say the most, but a lot of people in Haiti doesn't speak French. It
Okay.
can't be the official language, but
All right, man.
that's a discussion for another day. But
I'm not gonna go back and forth with you on this, brother. We just proved it.
that's what I was gonna say. Maybe you'll believe it when you hear it from another Haitian or other people. But
listen, man, I've been around your people. I've been to Florida. I've been to Fort Lauderdale. I know where they're at. When I travel to Florida and to Fort Lauderdale, when I travel to Miami, the people that pick me up in a taxi are Haitian.
Yeah,
and they drive me into the hooded areas, and when I go to the hood over there and they say there's black people over there, I don't see any black people. I see Haitians.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but hey.
So whenever I hear a Haitian saying that a black American bullied me, I can tell them in their face, you're a lie. Ain't no black American is bullying Haitians. Now, if you want to say the Jamaicans are bullying you, go right ahead. Jamaicans
see, here's part of what I have an issue with.
Like, as black Americans bullying no Haitians.
As a Haitian, we have our own flaws, and I'm not afraid to admit our flaws, as every people group have their own flaws. But what I see on a lot of lives that I'm on, people make excuses and say it's almost as if they push a particular narrative long enough, it will be fact. But when in reality, everyone know that it's not fact. Like, I give you an example. I get offended when I see anybody who is not melanated talking down on melanated people, whether it's on black Americans. I get offended because I'm black or I'm melanated. So
you're melanated. You're Haitian. Because there was a time, a lot of you Haitians. We know y'all parents tell y'all you're not black, you're Haitian. They reminded you before you leave the door.
No, you see, we're not gonna agree, because if you read books written by my ancestors, we're called black Negroes, and we take great pride in that. It's not a term that's
called what?
It's not black Negroes. Yeah, we take great pride in that.
Do y'all use another word that call y'all black?
We use both black and Negro. In fact,
I want to say goodbye.
Okay.
I need to go, but then also, Peggy, before I go, I wanted to say that maybe this whole misunderstanding could be similar to what we're also experiencing. We speak English in South Africa, but then it's not our official native language. There's a lot of language here, but then for us to be able to understand each other, English has become the dominant language because of that's what we use in businesses, that's what we use in schools, and so forth. So I think that you guys might be experiencing the same thing.
It's somewhat similar. It's somewhat similar. In fact, but French is even less prevalent in Haiti, less prevalent. It used to be a language that people want to speak to show their level of education, but as time have passes, people value it less, mainly because it used to be the colonizers' language. So we're now saying, why do we even have to speak that? They're trying to take it out of schools, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's similar to what you're saying.
I just think that maybe that's where this conversation is right now, which is why you guys keep going back and forth that English is like, for us, is like French to you guys, even though we still speak our native language and stuff like that. But like
exactly
what Too Much just said, my grandmother in her village, people can hardly speak English there,
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. You guys are saying this, you guys actually agreeing but disagreeing at the same time. So that's all I wanted to say. But Too Much, thank you. I need to.
I think Too Much just don't like agreeing with me. You have a wonderful night.
All right, Robert, you take care. Brother, you come in hot and you come in cool. I guess it just depends on.
Nah, that's not true, man.
When you try to sit there, the moment your African buddies get up in here, you get on cold with them. That's what happens.
Nah, that's not true. Because the thing is,
jumping on, you African, and then
I can't be.
Where's your language?
I can never be against Black Americans. I can never be, and the reason why I said that, like. I have, not just because I have a lot of Black American friends, but me personally, I identify even with have you seen some of those tribes in Africa that, like the 𝗥𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀𝘀𝗶cie tribe that speaks in cliques? Like when I see them, I see my ancestors. I identify with them just as much as I identify with you guys. So I'm not trying to cling on to Black Americans saying, because they're melanated.
Niji, request up. I can't bring you up. Request up. Because you gotta explain that comment that you just put down there, Nishi. So request up. Request up. Request up, Niji. Because you got to
But
explain
isn't
that.
most Haitians from Louisiana when they
No,
had that slavery revolt and they left?
no. Most Haitians are from two places, Benin and Nigeria, but also some other tribes in Africa. But that's what most Haitians are from. It's Nigerian culture or African culture. It's pretty
Okay.
big in my culture.
Okay, hold on. Niji, man, you got to explain that, man. English is from where?
Yeah, that's another thing that's a misnomer. Yeah, if you know about the Webster's dictionary,
Uh-huh.
Noah Webster created the dictionary off of studying 26 different languages from our tribes here. So that's how that dictionary came upon. You know what I mean?
So English it came from Germany, right? You know that, right?
No, no, it didn't come from Germany. It's originally here from us, but what they did is they tried to they have their dialect. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. It's like a
So
I
you're saying
can't
the
I,
American dialect of English, which is the German language, came
it's not
from
a German language. I
I
understand,
I I,
but German
I
is
have to
totally
side
different.
with too much on this one. Though we don't agree much, because
English have too much Latin, huh?
cause I
Most root words are Latin.
Latin. So you're saying are we Latin over here, Niji?
What I'm saying is that this is ancient America. This is the oldest land of everything. Everything comes from us. So that's just what it is. You know, things have changed over time. And you know how we speak with our linguistics, we change it up. And that's the thing. You know what I mean? So
and that's
understand
a
this.
lot.
Which language? West Germanic language. English is a West Germanic language that originated from 𝗥𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀 language brought
It's
to
different.
Britain in the mid
It's a
5th
different
to
version.
7th century. I understand that these and the thous and the does. Okay, so what version? So how do I Google that? What version came from Webster's dictionary? Okay.
You're gonna have to do the oh, man, I'm in a bed right now, my daughter. It's etymologies. That's how you gotta know that, and then you have to understand about a lot of the stuff that we've been taught. It's the opposite. You know what I mean? You know, just like when we talk about the slave trade and all that,
Uh,
the Slav, that all that stuff. You know what I mean? It's just everything's just taught. You know what I mean? Just
DG,
understand, like when we use
So
our
so
words
are
are
I,
you
different.
are you gonna stand on business and
Hmm.
are you gonna sit here and tell me that American Indians were never enslaved and that the transatlantic slave trade did not exist? Are you going to say that to me?
No, that's not what
Okay.
it's not. It's taught differently than what people are believing, because people are believing that people were shipped here on ships and they came and it was all
but
the white people that did it. But that's the biggest lie right there, is that white
DG, I
people
have a
were,
question. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, white people don't understand the elephant in the room. Some people know, but not most. But
Okay. Hold on. There is some truth to what you're saying. I want y'all to, this is some new information, y'all, that y'all may not have known. The history of American English began in the 17th century when the first wave of English-speaking settlers arrived in the Americas. Over time, they developed their unique vocabulary and pronunciation, borrowing from the native tongues of the American Indians, the earlier Spanish settlers, and even the French. Okay,
thank
I
you,
didn't know that. Oh,
thank you.
brother, I do my
It's
research.
yeah,
I try
it's
to listen. If you
believe
gonna
me,
say something, you stand on it. I'm
believe
gonna
me.
go research. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it.
Yeah,
So
believe
I
me.
stand
It's so much
corrected.
that we've been lied to. It's just unbelievable.
I listen. I stand correct because here's what I can tell you. The English today is Black American culture.
Exactly.
The way everybody speaks, they speak like a Black American.
Yeah.
I have a couple questions. Too much. If you, because based on what you read, it almost sounds to me like they brought English here, and then they add words
Well,
from
if you
the
ever
native
have
into
you
English.
ever read the English language from like the 1600s, it almost sounds like a foreign language. With their
But that's the same. That's the same
it
thing with
almost
most
it
languages.
almost can be considered a Creole type language that they had. Like if you hear a real Englishman talk like in the 14th, 15th, and 16th century, even though they're speaking English, you won't be able to understand a word they're saying because of their accent. So what this is talking about is the accent of the Americans came from the American Indians, early Spanish settlers, and even the French. That's where you get that word Creole, American
Okay, you talking about.
Creole.
Okay, so you're referring to accent, but not
The
the English,
accent,
not the
right?
language.
The accent is everything because the accent lets you know where people come from, right? We know the English language in Britain, it has a different accent, and even that language has changed because their accent they're using today is not Old English accent.
Yeah. And I think that's what it is. I think it's Old English is different than our English.
Yeah, Old
But
English is different than the English that we speak in the Americas. Now, people can understand us. Now, even Britain, we can understand Britain. Now, if you speak to a Scottish person and you listen to how the Scottish speak English, you might not know what that brother's saying. You might not know what a Scottish person is saying because his Scottish is different than the English. His Scottish English is different, even in Ireland.
that's their own language over there. That's different.
They have a way that the Irish speak English, and if they really get into talking fast, you're gonna be like, I caught a little bit what he said. It's almost like Jamaican patois, the way they speak English and they mush these words together. You won't know what these Jamaicans are saying, and they speak in English. But
I think the arguments have to be better structured though, because when you come across, say for example, a white person, it's gonna sound emotional. That's why people are saying, that's why people are talking about the $5 Indians and all of that, because the argument is not solid, and it's not because people have an issue with
what's not solid about hold on, what's not solid about $5 Indians, because that's a true thing. There are $5 Indians.
No, but what I'm saying is people are referring to a lot of black American or black Indians as $5 Indians.
No,
And
you
what I'm
got that
saying is,
wrong.
No,
You got that wrong.
listen.
Let me explain
I've been
something.
on lives. Hold on a second, guys.
Let me say it like this.
Hear me out for 5 seconds.
5 seconds, go.
I've been on Indian or Native Indian lives that go at Black Americans, saying that they're pretendians. And what I'm saying is, to me, I feel like I've been on a lot of them, and I'm saying to me, it's because the argument is not structured well. Because
let me help you structure the argument. This is
no,
what's
not
gonna
me.
stop all that nonsense right now. Listen, all you got to do is go to Google this. Ask Google, according to the Webster's Dictionary of 1828, what was the definition of American? Now, the definition today versus what it had in 1828 is different. In 1828, they recognized the Aboriginals and the Indigenous people of the copper-colored
races
as Americans.
Yep.
They even knew back then that they weren't that they weren't Americans. They knew they were immigrants, even though they founded America or the United States.
They didn't find it.
Well,
They found it.
I'm saying they found it. Understand? I'm saying
Right.
they found it.
I get it. They found it, but they're not the
Hold on,
founders.
yeah,
But
they're
they
not
found
they're
it.
not the yeah, right.
I got you.
They put together the Constitution and they said this is
Right.
called the United States, right? So they even knew then.
No, they didn't put
they were
together the
not-
Hold on.
Constitution. The
Hold
Constitution
on.
was already there.
Yeah, we already made the Constitution.
We already wrote that Constitution.
Hey, but before we get too far away, I need to correct something that the
I
Haitian
wanted
brothers
to correct the guy up top about
that's what I'm talking
a lot
about.
of Indians.
I want to help
Hey,
him
you can go ahead
understand
and
some
do it.
clarity.
Because man, you must be Indian, 'cause I'm Indian. I'm Cherokee,
yeah, Yeah.
Okay.
Cherokee.
I meant to say pretendian, but go ahead. Not $5
Don't say
Indian. I'm sorry.
pretendian, please.
Because I know
Okay.
white
Yeah.
tea people were considered the
Okay.
$5 Indians.
Let me
Yeah,
explain
the
something to you,
YT
though,
were the
brother.
$5 Indians. That's correct.
I meant pretendian. That's what I meant to say.
The
Let me explain.
so-called native, the so-called native,
Yeah.
they are
Right.
the pretendians too.
So
Okay.
yes, they
So
are.
let me explain to you, though. I've been trying to get this out.
That's
Go,
Let
go,
me
go
let me
ahead,
get
let
this
them
out.
explain it because
Okay, so
you know.
this is what I'll be telling people. You got to understand there's a difference between Native Americans and American Indians.
Mm-hmm.
American Indians are us, and we're in the Constitution. They did a switch in cahoots with the GOV, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the $5 Indian term comes from. You know what I'm saying? Because the YT people bought into Indian ancestry by paying $5. They scratched our names out, put their names on there, and then some of them stole our identities as well. That's why a lot of people think that we're named after the colonizers and all that stuff, but that's not true. They got our names. They stole our names from out of the graves and all that big
Yeah.
identity stuff. So basically, you got to understand when people say native, it kind of tells you their level of, I'm gonna say, consciousness, because it makes me cringe when I hear a so-called black person, you know what I'm saying, call herself a native, because really you're saying you're a foreigner, because anybody can be a native. Can't anybody be indigenous and an American Indian from here? You know what I'm saying? So that's the big difference right there. And they are really trying to, that's why they don't allow us to get into the tribes, because they know once we get into the tribes, those are our original tribes. They came and played us and moved on. They came with this blood quantum stuff that don't even work. And now they got the problem with the blood quantum now because they can't even qualify. So that's why a lot of them are getting deported. But I'm
Even
gonna land my plane
Here's
right
the
there.
thing that I
But
Trump was in
No,
question. Trump
that's
was
actually
in
true.
question.
Now hold on. Before y'all go any further, we got to unpack some things because y'all said that, and this is not the first time I'm hearing this, but I need y'all to show me so I can understand now because the one thing about me, the moment I hear truth and the moment I know it's true, I don't reject it. I go with it because I want to walk in truth. I don't want to walk in half truth or partial truth. I want to walk in the whole truth, and I'm not afraid to stand on business for something that I know is true. So
The
we got
best,
to unpack
yeah.
the best way too much,
So let's
I would
unpack something.
suggest,
Hold on. We got to
is
unpack. I
join
got to
our
ask you a question.
lives, and then that
No,
way
no,
you
no,
can.
no. I want y'all to tell me right now. You
Okay, so
said
what
yeah.
is it
So
that
what's
you
your
want to
question?
know? What's your
Constitution.
question?
You said that
Let's
y'all wrote the Constitution, right? Is that what you're telling me? So you saying
Black Americans
Benjamin
that was already
Franklin,
here.
George
Yeah.
Washington, they didn't write that Constitution?
No,
no.
no.
Okay, show me. Okay, help me. I'm
I
listening.
don't have the proof right now, but I will come back with the proof. I would
No, but
definitely come
basically,
back with the proof. And it was 5 copper-colored presidents of the United States. Yes, it
I
was.
I heard about that. I heard about
Yes, it
that.
was. Yes, it was. I
this
mean,
is
you know,
this is getting
like our
it's a
even
trip,
ancestors,
ain't
deeper
it?
than I thought.
we
No,
built this whole country. They came here to a built
Listen,
country.
my father. Hold on, let me tell you something. My father. See, I'm Cherokee and Blackfoot. So my father.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm Cherokee and Blackfoot. My father told me. My father told me this that there was a black president. Matter of fact, he told me that the first president of the United States was black.
Right.
That's what my father told me.
Yeah.
And I used to look at my father and be like, man, you
Yeah.
messed up.
Hey, it's mind blowing, ain't it? It's mind blowing every time you learn something new.
I'm not even going to. My
No,
father.
but it's kind of deep though, guys. It's extremely deep, and here's why I say that.
Wait a minute.
It's gonna take.
Finish talking too
Hold
much.
on,
Go
hold
ahead.
on. I'm like
We
this.
lose his
If they
thought.
can prove it, and I can see the proof, I will switch because this is not the first time I'm hearing about this. There was another government that came in even before George Washington and all those other guys came in. So
And that's
that's
what
why I'm interested in listening because I rather listen and listen. I'm in alignment. If my gut starts tingling,
yeah.
my head get to thinking, and then my heart begins to follow, I'm gonna obey that.
If your dad
So,
told you who you are, that's who
so
you
let me
are.
My
let me
dad
say
and
something real
my
quick.
dad
Time when
and my
I was
mother
a
told me who I
kid.
was. My dad and my
There's
mother
a
told me who
combination
I
of
was.
many
But
things
then
at play though.
more than likely, if your because look, it's all verbally. All right, my dad would have been like 105 years old. My mom is 88 years old.
My dad was born in 1942.
My dad was born in 1920.
My great grandfather was a slave in 1833.
Was he a slave or a servant?
He was a slave.
Okay.
How do you know that though? Because
I
the
did
way
my
that they talk.
genealogy. Because I did my genealogy. That's how I
Well,
know.
I mean, but let me explain this though. Our families had to claim all the family members.
I'm not one of those. Listen. I know. Not all the American Indians were slaves, but a lot of them were.
It could have been some.
Let me explain though.
But it wasn't very many. It was far and few.
You were either
let me explain this though.
From your land, or you were a slave because they made you an American Negro. That's what American Negro is. There was an American Negro, there was an African Negro, and then there was the American Creole.
The Irish was okay. It started off with the Irish, but of course they wasn't built to be in the sun like that.
The very first no. The very first slave was an American Indian.
No.
I can show you.
But let me explain this though. When you see, when you look at the paperwork,
let me show you. Black people,
let me show you. Let me show you. I want y'all to Google this. I want you to Google
I got some stuff for you to Google too.
We didn't have no slaves in my family.
Let me say this though, before you guys go too far.
It's hard to believe that white people were smacking people around, but they were. But let me give y'all some information.
I don't believe none of that.
Let me give you some information because
so you guys don't believe in the transatlantic slave trade.
Let me explain
he wants to explain it to you.
Let me explain something about these records. Like, okay, so our people had to claim. Okay, our people had to claim their own family as Slav.
Hold on. Let me read this.
If you look at the records,
read the Carolina Slave Code of 1691. In the Carolina Slave Code, I'm gonna just tell you what it is, and you can go Google it. In 16,
I don't even think that the white man was over here back in 1691.
No, they were. Hold on. The Carolina Slave Code from 1691 legally enslaved Native people, most of them described as Negroes or Indians. Google that first. 1691 Carolina Slave Code. The greatest number of slaves exported from Carolina in the 1700s were not from Africa, but from Florida.
Okay.
And I remember I was telling you that already.
In the listen, this, but hold on. This is where you can get that information.
It wasn't slaves. Wait. Let me just say this.
Trade in the colonial.
They did take them to. Some went to West Africa. Some went to the Caribbeans. Some went to
South America.
What is it? Liberian. They went to South
Liberia.
Liberia wasn't around in Liberia was not around in the 1700s. It was not called Liberia.
Well, at one point they did go there though.
Yeah, but that
was into the late 1800s.
That was late 1800s, early now. But I'm saying this was in the 1700s. Go Google this before you say I'm lying. This is documented.
I'm not saying that you're lying, but
here's my thing, guys.
In the colonial South. Go Google slave.
Are you from America, Figa? Because if you're not, you can't really I'm not being smart.
He need to take a seat for a second and just listen.
No, because
you're not American.
All this stuff
because we're not African for number one. We're not y'all.
All this stuff. Listen,
by African you mean
you're gonna admit that you're a POW.
Or are you saying I'm African?
If you're African, I said if you're African, we're not you.
Hold on.
I'm not from the continent of Africa.
Hold on.
Hold
on. They're right. You gotta take a back seat real quick. Hold on. Don't talk.
I'm not.
I'm talking to my Black American, my Indian brothers, my colored people right now. I'm talking to them. Now listen, we gotta get over this. You're either gonna admit that you are POWs, because how in the world are they gonna get you? We are a people that will fight passionately for our land. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely that, but
we are people that will passionately fight for our land. So how the heck did they get us off the land if they didn't unalive us or make us slaves? You
They
tell
didn't do
me
none of
that.
that. They didn't do none of that. There was a trick, the trichonology.
So how'd you allow them to trick you then?
But what they did is they came over here as Slavs first, right? And then that's why, man, it's too much information to discuss right now. But basically, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know who was the first. I know there is a topic that is not spoken on, and there is a lot of YT people that was created here, created like test tube babies.
Oh yeah, they are
They're called
genetically
Cabbage Patch. You know
modified.
where Cabbage Patch Kids comes from? That's what that's about.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
they got pictures of them on the ships coming
Yep,
here.
yep.
And then when you look at these old pictures that they faking, you see them walking around
Where'd
like
they
they
get
don't know
the
what's.
technology to create these test tube babies, and then what happened to that knowledge? So you're talking about cloning now, right? You're talking about like they clone Tyrone type of deal.
No,
Nah,
it's not cloning. They
nah.
genetically.
So where'd they get this? So if they were genetically doing this, right?
Pull up the 18th. Pull up like the
It really
18th,
happened.
1800
Too
Chicago
much.
World
It
Fair.
really, that really,
Pull up what?
really
Now,
happened.
if you were saying in 2025, I might believe you.
That
But
really,
we're talking about the
no, it
16,
happened.
1700s.
Where
When we lost
do you think they came from? They was found in caves.
a lot of people don't know.
Listen, but that predates the 1600s.
They're not
Man.
supposed to. They're not supposed to even be here on Earth.
I get you, but you can thank your friends the Moors who y'all been trading with all these years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can thank them for that.
The Moors was Indians too.
That's the ones that sold us out. That's
But the Moors was the traders. They the ones that got them out the caves.
I don't trust any Moors.
They the ones that got them to get here. We know that.
I don't trust.
Okay, so
them.
but understand this though. Understand this though.
I
When
do
they
have a couple questions though.
understand this though. When they came here, it was our own people, our own color, our own
Yup.
skin folk. It wasn't
Yup.
white people.
Nope.
White people came as the Slavs. Understand that.
They did.
Yeah, the question that I have, if you guys don't mind, I'm from the Caribbean, right?
You're our
A lot of
cousins.
my
You're our
yeah,
cousins.
a lot of my culture mirrors African culture. I can pick words from African languages that are part of my language. Now we all know that my language is a combination of many African languages mixed with French. See, the question that I have is, if I do when a Haitian do a DNA test, right? It comes back he's 90% African.
DNA,
Hey, but
excuse
let me
me,
end that
not to
right
be
there though.
rude, but
Let
that
me tell you this:
DNA
those
right
DNA
there is
tests are
fake and
fake.
phony. That
They're
DNA
fake.
is not gonna no, it's mainly to like where you can find like a missing parent or sibling. And that's
Yeah.
what
I wanna I
don't you
wanna say
know?
I did
23
my
and me,
DNA and
23
all
and
my
me,
living,
that DNA,
all
that
my
DNA stuff, you're not going to
right.
really find
I
who
did
you
my
are.
DNA.
And
see the
they
thing
tell
is
you
what I'm
too.
saying is
They never
I don't just
connected
look
me
at the
to
DNA
anybody
evidence.
in Africa. They
I'm
never connected me
saying
to
that
anybody in Africa.
what I'm saying for example, the DNA evidence backs up
There's
historical
no
evidence.
They
evidence.
do
There's no
not.
Yeah,
evidence.
It's no evidence.
no, I'm saying in
Understand
our
that.
case, like for example,
In what
we
case? The
have like
DNA doesn't work.
no, what I'm saying is we have traditional
Look at that nice
dances that
Indian.
we
Look at
can
that Indian. Look at that. Look at that.
we
Now that's a natural Indian. I love that. Where you get that from?
I took screenshots of one of the rooms I was in. The brother was kicking so much knowledge I had, and he's showing so many pictures.
Wasn't that nice though? And you know the
I
thing about it, we
think
came in
it's
all
like
different colors and shades.
I think it's the Magnificent. Here's another one.
Oh yeah. I seen that one.
Yeah, I seen them too.
They was part of Black Wall Street.
Right.
That's in Oklahoma.
And here's the notorious hairy people that everybody's talking about. This is a depiction of them.
I never seen this one. What's this?
These are actual paintings that was painted.
Yeah. They got a lot of that stuff in the Library of Congress
You see
also.
those people in the trees are still in. It's like it's letting you know that they've always been our mortal enemies. The hairy ones, they call them the hairy ones because they weren't civilized. They were just hairy humanoid type people.
That's, I mean, that's
and they
basically
were
what we're
very
saying.
violent.
Like
They
they
were
were
very.
created. Like they,
Okay.
like,
I think
come
that's
on
where
now.
that term mankind comes from. Is that what it is? I
Yeah.
think that's where that came from.
This is another thing.
Where do you
This
guys
is
get like what sources can
Oh,
I
that's a
check
nice
out
one
if I
right
wanted
there
to
Look
get
what
too.
he's on
informed
right there. Look
on
at
what you
that.
guys are
Look what he's
sharing?
sitting
And
on
you know
right
they
there.
always had the gold teeth
Hold on. Look
Yeah,
what he's sitting on right
the
there.
jewelry
yeah.
Look what he's sitting
and the
on right there.
dreads. Look at that.
This is
And on the
the
bike.
actual.
And who's the only people that still have the same traditions? We have it
If
passed
you
down through
Google
our DNA.
Chicago
Yeah.
1890, did you know we had? Listen, the technology that we had, we were already on bikes.
Already on
Hmm.
bikes. Look at that.
Already on bikes. This
I
is the
Yeah.
mean, we
actual.
are the inventors. I
Yeah.
mean, nobody is like us. No, I mean,
The
I'm not being.
technology that we had here was pretty
Yep.
awesome.
So
Yep.
that's why they destroyed all of our stuff. Yeah.
Listen, listen. That's why y'all can't go to the Grand Canyon today because our stuff is in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
They not gonna
Yeah.
let you in there.
They keep calling it Area 51 and 80. Man, ain't no
Mm-hmm.
aliens up in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's only history of us.
Yeah.
Man.
So listen,
Hey,
man.
too much. Hey, too
Listen.
much.
I
I
hear what
want to.
y'all saying, man. But y'all, but understand what I'm saying. I'm FBA, y'all. I know, I'm on code with my people, and I'm strategically moving a certain way, and
We appreciate that.
I have no
Come
issue
on, come all the way.
with my copper colored people. I have no issue with my copper colored people, or you guys classifying yourself as copper colored people. Y'all are from my lineage, and I acknowledge it. And
Yeah.
that's it. And that's all. I acknowledge it. Y'all are from the lineage. Now, if y'all want to go back and forth with me about the name FBA and all that stuff, and listen, we are futuristic people. We've always been
Mm-hmm.
futuristic people. So we're in the future. We're not moving like we moved in the past anymore. We're
Right.
changing direction. We're not going to make the same mistakes our ancestors
Mm-hmm.
did. We're going to correct the mistakes that they made because that's what the ancestors is asking us to do. They're saying, don't make the same mistakes we made. This is how we got conquered. This is how we got taken over. So we're moving in this right now. And I hope y'all understand that. Now, whether y'all choose to classify yourself or say we're FBA or acknowledge it, that's on y'all. But this
Right.
is how the future is moving right now. The future is FBA.
Like,
You
like
know
I
something?
said,
When you
American.
listen
That's
to
the
this,
future.
we have something very special, but everybody can't utilize it. I'm gonna give you an example. This white tea young lady was like really getting like disrespectful, and like I'm an elder to her or whatever on my job, my business. So I was just like upset, but I dealt with the situation. And I had a dream that, which I would never do, but it just came to me in my dream, my conscious, that she got like too close to my face and I got on a defensive. This is only a dream. And I knocked her down to the floor and I grabbed her by her leg and I was dragging her around. My right hand is up to God. The next day, she came in the job limping severely. And one of my employees asked her what had happened. She said, I don't know. I woke up like this. I woke up like this. I don't know what happened to my foot.
Yeah. You could have been what they call it,
He
the
said,
astral projection.
she
Could
said,
have been.
I don't know what happened to my foot.
It's
So the
powerful.
employee said,
So let me answer
well,
this question by Miss I Can't Give Up. Okay. Foundational Black American, it just means you are a direct descendant of either chattel slavery, you're indigenous to this land, you were here before the foundations of this land, you built this nation, you built the United States. That's if you're from those people who built the United States and was here before there was a United States.
The
too
United
much.
States of America,
And
the
you're
Republic. It
copper
was.
and you're copper colored, you are a foundational Black American.
Too much. I do feel like there's a lot that has to be sorted out, and here's what I mean by
No,
that.
it's not. It's very
There's so
simple.
many there's so many different terms. Not only so many different terms, so many different theories. Like I give you an example. I have a brother who's a Hebrew Israelite. He comes up to
we want to
me
talk about
telling
them
me,
people. Them people,
no, but what I'm saying is,
they're not even in our league.
Listen, no. Listen, we have some foundational Black Americans who claim to be Hebrew Israelite, and I don't deny it. Let me tell you why.
This is what I'm saying.
No, hold on. Let me tell you why. Because the Africans that did come over here that were slaves, they were not like the Africans that were sent to the Caribbean. They were not like the Africans that were sent to South America. These Africans did not have any tattoos or piercings. And they had a specific diet, and they had a specific talk. They were not like, they were not like the West Africans. They were more like the Bantu people. And if go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
You don't stop interrupting, because see, he gonna lose his thought when you.
No, it won't be but a couple seconds. Hear me out. What I'm trying to say is, I think when there are so many people with so many different theories, you have younger generations, people who's not as informed or well researched as you are. They hear these things, they run with it, and on the world stage,
that's not true.
On the world stage,
they be on their 20s educated.
Let me tell you, yeah, there are foundational Black Americans who are in their 20s, even in their teens.
Yeah,
who know the truth, because guess what? They got grandparents.
I was on the FBA live.
People are still living.
I was on the FBA live, and the topic was, are we a confused people? And one FBA said, well,
no, that don't even sound like a topic a FBA would put up.
First of all, that was probably a tether cosplaying as the FBA.
I think he is too. I think this dude up there is a cosplay.
Me too. Because some of the things he's saying,
he ain't one of us.
I'm not Black American. I told you guys that. I'm from the Caribbean.
Hold on. Listen. And if you run into a Pan-Africanist, they're agents. They're ops. They get paid to be a Pan-African.
They do.
They get
what
paid.
What I'm saying is, on the world stage, other races are laughing when they hear in one live.
We don't give a damn who laughing.
We don't care.
Yeah. Listen.
Let me tell you. Can I say something, brother? First of all,
this dude is like irking me.
Hold on real quick. Those people are gonna laugh now, and then they're gonna, because we're going back. We're doing our genealogy. We're the most documented people on the planet, so it's not like we're lying. We can just pull the document. We can roll the tape. We can actually roll the tape and show you, like I just showed you, 1828 Webster's Dictionary. You can't deny that.
No, the only thing I say before, since you guys, I'm irritating that sister, so I won't stay long.
Hold on. The definition
you don't have to leave, brother. You don't have to leave.
The definition of American was different according to the Webster's Dictionary in 1828. If you just read that and read the definition for what an American was in 1828, that is a big piece to the puzzle that had everybody confused. Because you shouldn't be confused anymore after you read the definition of an American in 1828. There is no other copper-colored people but us.
Well,
I won't say much else.
Brother. Let me say something.
I won't say much else after this. Even in my own people, there's a trend right now. You have a group of us who are from Haiti who believe that we are from Africa, and you have a group of Haitians that were born here who saying that, oh, we were indigenous. So even in my own, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to shut down those who are bringing that new theory, because it's making us look confused as a people. Because generally,
I've heard Haitians say that they're not African, like about your age. So
you may have some, like it's a new trend. That's what I'm saying. It's
Haitian, brother. That's not new.
That's not true. That's not true. If you want to claim to be African, you can claim to be African, but a lot of Haitians do not believe that they're from Africa.
Let me say this. This is why you can't be from Africa, and even though you're from Haiti, you have African descent, because there were way more slaves. Millions of slaves were brought to the Caribbean and South America
anywhere
than ever made it to the United States. Okay.
Yeah,
but hold on. Here's how you can know you're not African, because you also had an ethnogenesis. You've been in one place for way too long. So long that you can no longer call yourself what you were. You're something new. Your spirit your spirit is even different from those in Africa. And if you ever go back to Africa, guess what? You may look like them, you may eat the same food as them, but they're never really gonna treat you like a brother. And that
Yeah, but see, here's the thing though.
bad.
We have like our own forefathers. Like say for example, the Toussaint Louverture and the Henri Christophe, in their books, in their biography or autobiography, which they themselves write, they talk about being from Africa. They talk about being from the Dahomey Kingdom from Africa. See, that's why a lot of us have issues with some of the newer Haitians or the Haitians that are.
I got you. Some of you are, but guess what? How many years ago? How many hundreds of years ago was that?
No, we're not African in the sense like like an African from the continent, but we say like
What he's
we
saying is
are.
that the bloodline is gone.
We saying
After so many generations, sir, the bloodline starts to just go away.
Not only that,
You
but
may be a
most countries.
descendant, but at the end
Go
of the
look
day,
that
they
up.
can't find you. You can't
Go
find them.
look up how
That's like
long
if we go to okay,
for
if
me
that's
to
the
no longer
case,
be those people.
if we're Africans, why they don't try to look for us in America? Why do they never
No,
come
I mean
back
I
for
can't
us?
speak for you
Make it
guys,
make sense.
but no, like say for example, in my country, if you look at traditional dances in Africa, traditional religion in Africa, it's the same thing practiced in my
If you
country
want to be
now.
African,
You
be
want
African.
it's not to be African, brother. Ain't nobody got.
You
We don't
be
have a problem
African.
with
We
you
really
being
don't
African.
care.
You got a problem with us. Then you
Yeah.
talk about we got a
Yeah.
problem with you. The
Yeah.
reason
No.
FBA was
No.
created, brother. The reason FBA was created. Listen to this, right? Is because
Name.
Black Americans, and I'm gonna
FBA
stop.
wasn't created. The name.
The name was created. The name.
Classification.
The
Right.
reason we came together under a new, like he said, we're constantly evolving. We felt the need to protect our unique cultural experience. And if you got a problem with that, shame on you. I don't have no problem with you. Now, here's another reason. Let me finish, brother. I ain't even say nothing. This is my first time
Let me
speaking.
finish. Go ahead, brother. Go
Let me
ahead.
finish. I always extended love to my Caribbean brothers. I got first cousins who got babies by Haitians, where the Haitian is the father, or the Black American is the father, and it's a Haitian woman. I got both of those in my family. We've never tried to hate on any blacks in the American diaspora or the African diaspora in Americas or wherever. But for some reason, every time
hate on us.
somebody come to America, whether they from the Caribbean, they have this secret agenda against us. And it's become so obvious to us
It's
that
rampant.
at this point, I don't even feel the same. And I know it's some good people in the Caribbean, but the majority are coming here and they will set up things just for them here instead of saying, and I don't mind you coming here and having a Caribbean Day Parade. We'll celebrate that with you, right? But if you, let's say you
That's what's
come
up.
and you set up certain things that are like in America that don't got nothing to do with your culture, you know, as separate from us, or then like with anything we create or any of the things that could benefit us, you use, but then you'll talk against us. Now, I'm in the music industry, right? I've heard people, and I've talked to some of my brothers. I'll be talking to them. These are legendary people, right? I'm somewhat of a legend myself. And if they'll say, yo, where you from? And I say, I'm from here. And then I said, but I heard that my great grandfather was from Jamaica, right? They'll say something like this. I knew you was different. And this happened to me more than once. And they go, these Black Americans, and they start talking to me, right? And I'm looking at these motherfuckers like, really? And then there's like this, whenever there's somebody speaking out against reparations or anything we're doing here, even if we don't get reparations, what we're rallying for, they be against it.
Can you go back for me, brother?
So we felt the need to just say, this is our unique experience. And then y'all say we don't have a culture.
Hold on.
No,
True
True
Master.
Master, you and I have so much in common you don't even realize.
Hold on,
Because-
brother. Hold on.
No, you said you have common. You said you have more common with the Africans. Now you saying
Hold on. Let me talk to True Master. You said something. I need you to clarify on it. Did you say that you
Great
say you have a great grandfather
grandfather. Yeah.
from Jamaica?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he probably was shipped over there from America.
So
Yeah, it's
you have a
possible.
great grandfather. So where is your father from?
My father is from the South. He's an indigenous American. His family talks about that. My grandmother family talks about that.
So how
So
do
on both my
you have
mother and my father, right?
so how do you have a great grandfather that's from Jamaica then?
Because okay, look,
If your father is indigenous to the Americas, but his father isn't indigenous.
no. Listen, okay, listen. I have a mother, right?
Where's your mother from?
My mother is from here. Her mother is from North Carolina.
Okay.
My father his family is from Georgia, where I am right now. Right?
Your grandfather.
Now on my mother's side.
On your mother's side.
Her father's from her side. Now this is the interesting thing. He was born in Panama. And I used to think that because first they said, I met him one time.
Okay, so which side of your family is FBA and which side is it, brother?
Brother, on my mother's side is where I said my mother's mother is from here.
Mm-hmm.
My mother's
But you just said somebody who came from Panama, though.
No. Listen, he was born in Panama because they left Jamaica and went to help build the Panama Canal. Now listen, when I said he was born in Panama, initially when I was young, I used to think that he was from Panama, right? But he was actually born in Panama via Jamaica.
It sounds like you're Caribbean, brother.
No, I'm not, brother.
It goes by the mother.
No, listen, brother. Hold up. Wait a minute. No.
Are y'all listening to this, brother? He done changed his story 2-3 times already. I'm trying to follow. He said your great grandfather is from Jamaica, and then I asked,
but born in Panama. But he said born in Panama.
And then somebody's born in Panama. How did that tie you to the ancestral land that we live in today, brother? That's what I wonder. How did that tie you into here? You said you're from Georgia. Okay, that kind of makes sense. That kind of sounds.
Listen, let me explain something to you, brother.
Somebody got
listen, brother. Listen, right? If you have a mother whose mother is indigenous American, right? And you have a father who's indigenous American from my mother's side, right?
I'm getting confused now, brother. You got to make it plain and simple for me. You said you have a mother that's indigenous.
My mother's mother is from here.
That's from where? Her father. Okay, let's do it like.
You have two parents, brother. You have two parents.
Hold on, no. Because you got to be you got to be able to go back to at least the 1870 census, brother.
Brother, I've been back to the 18. I've been back to the on both sides. I've been back on my mother's side to the 1870 census. Brother, listen to me. I went to the National Archives right here in Georgia, right? And I went back on my mother's side to the 1870 census, and I went back on my father's side to the 1870 census, brother. Both of them.
Okay, so your mother's from here.
My mother is from here.
And where's her father from?
Her father is from.
Where's her father from?
Her father. Okay.
Let's keep it simple. Your mother's from here. Where's her father from?
Her father is from Jamaica.
Brother, that's not FBA. That's not FBA, brother. You're a second generation.
Wait a minute, hold up, brother.
Brother, you just said it yourself. It came out of your mouth.
Now hold up. If my mother, hold up. If my mother's father, brother, if my mother's father is from Jamaica and my mother's mother is from here, that don't make me FBA?
Your mother's father is from Jamaica, but her mother
It's from here. Right.
Okay.
Now on my
For the
father's
third
side,
generation. Wait.
So hold on.
and listen, on my father's
Now
side,
it can be tied in. It can be
wait,
tied.
wait, 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 wait. Hold on.
Okay,
Listen.
so brother, but brother, the way brother, listen. I don't have. No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a foundational Black American. I don't have any African or Caribbean in my family. Zero.
Well, that's not the case with me, brother. I have on my mother's side.
Now hold on. Malcolm X. He has some Caribbean in him, but he at least has one. I think it's either his father or his
father. The father. The mother was from the Caribbean, but the father was all American.
My father's all American. Listen, my father's all American.
Hold on. And then we have Nipsey Hussle. His mother is a foundational Black American. His father is Eritrean, but he is a foundational Black American because of his mother.
So if my mother has a mother that's foundational Black American, but her father is from Jamaica, that doesn't make me.
You're still tied in. You're barely making it though. You're barely making it. But
no, hold on. All right, you just said Nipsey Russell. You ain't say so. Nipsey Russell is barely
Nipsey Hussle is a foundational Black American. Right?
Is he barely making it?
No, but I'm saying the way you were saying it.
Okay, listen, brother. Listen, hold on.
Yourself out of it. See, no. That's why I asked you to explain it the way you said it. Now, if you at least got one parent, now you're saying your mother's father is from somewhere else, but her mother is from here. She's still tied to the ancestral lands.
Right.
All right. So if my mother's tied to the ancestral, that's why I can find on.
So now let's go
my
back
mother
to your
and father.
So now hold on. So now let's go back to your father.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your father from?
From Georgia.
He's from here.
Yes, sir.
Where's his father from?
His father's from here.
Where's his mother from?
His mother's from here.
Okay.
There's no Caribbean on my father's side whatsoever.
But that's okay. Host. Let me just say one thing.
Whatsoever.
Let me just say one thing. Okay, so we know that the West Indies is part of the Caribbean, but you have to understand that the Caribbeans was Florida, Virginia, Georgia. Read it. Read this. So if somebody have a parent from the West Indies,
I don't know that. I gotta see some documents.
Check it out, and then tell me that I'm right. I'm absolutely. When I tell you, I'm 1,000% and more correct. I want for you. Google it right now. Google it. It's going to tell you. It's like Virginia, Georgia, Florida, and some other places. Because you know that the map was flipped. You about to read it. It's going to tell you. This dude's snoring.
It's probably somebody next to him.
He had a late night. Are you still there, Fro?
The colony of Virginia was British colonial settlement in North America from 1606 to 1776. The first effort to create an English settlement was there. Which original colony included the area of Virginia to Spanish Florida? The region, I don't see nothing. The region
You have to
included
Google
Virginia,
it. It's there. It's there. You have to put it in the right word.
It's not coming up, but
just Google. I know what I'm talking about. Just Google West Indies,
the colony of
Florida.
Virginia. Okay,
just Google something like, is Florida part of the West Indies? Google that. It'll come up.
Can the Florida Keys be considered part of the Caribbean?
Because you have to think about it. Think about Florida. Florida is so close
geographically close to the Caribbean, but it's not typically considered part of the Caribbean.
Where are you getting your information from? Hold on. I'm gonna pull it up, but I gotta leave right quick. I'm gonna pull it up.
Part of the Caribbean. Florida, particularly the Florida Keys, is geographically close to the Caribbean, but it is not but it is not typically considered part of the Caribbean.
It is.
I'm
Right here
telling
it says,
you,
I'm right, 1754, 1835. I know I'm right.
while Florida isn't actually part of the Caribbean, it does have
It
magnificent.
was from 1754 to 1835.
Well, let me go. 1754
1835.
to 1835.
Yeah. It was Florida, Georgia, Virginia, and other
The
places.
Florida part of the Caribbean. The West Indies included part of Virginia, North Carolina. Hold on, is Virginia? The West Indies included part of Virginia, North Carolina, East
There you
Florida,
go.
South
There
Florida,
you go.
West
There
Florida,
you go.
Georgia, Louisiana, and the Gulf of Mexico,
There
with
you
part of
go.
the coast of South America from the Bay of Honduras to the mouth of the River Orinoco.
Bam, bam.
Okay.
There you go. So, like, this
I
is
still
like
need
in
that.
where in part a lot of like the Caribbean, some of them don't know, but we have relatives that was sent over to like the Caribbean islands. So a lot of them is in our family genealogy. Yeah, look at the map right there. I knew what I was talking about. It's kind
So
of late, I'm tired, but my brain's
1754
still
to
working.
1835, is that what you're saying?
From 1754 to 1835.
1835, that was considered the West Indies.
Yeah.
Part of the West Indies. Okay. But yeah. Okay.
Hey, too much. I gotta get in this bed.
I hear you,
So
brother.
I might have to get with you
Hey,
tomorrow.
hold on. You got homework, brother. You got to come back. Both of y'all, Goddess and Nisha, you
Okay.
got homework. Y'all got to come back and give me the proof that there was another that y'all created the Constitution.
Okay. And when I come back, I'm gonna have it.
Us
Definitely gonna
created the
have it.
Constitution. So
I'm
that's your
definitely gonna
homework. Come
have
back
it.
tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow. I got another
Okay.
thing. I got to keep letting my people know who they are.
Okay.
We are copper color, but we're foundational Black Americans.
Okay.
Okay, but I
And
need y'all to do your homework.
we voted because the first Black president of the United States
My
was a
dad
Black.
told me that. My dad told me that. That's
Yeah, we
crazy.
wrote the Constitution. We wrote
Okay.
that.
So listen, I want to put my tinfoil kufi hat on like y'all, but I want to do it with some evidence.
Okay, and I'm gonna come back with some evidence too.
So come back with the evidence. Hey, we're gonna go ahead and end the live, y'all. It's late. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
everybody.
tired. I'm tired. My brain barely
It's
functions.
12:44. I'm gonna chill and relax a little bit, and I'm gonna get my butt in bed. I gotta wake up early. I work 7 days a week. Some of y'all don't. I work 7 days a week, so
I'm tired, yo.
I gotta get in bed and make sure happen. The United States Constitution originated from the Irish Hebrews, who had the first Constitution written in Hebrew.
Nah, that ain't
There's so
true.
many, listen, man, there's so
That is not true. Who wrote that? Nah.
Listen,
What?
listen, I done heard it all, man. That's why y'all got to bring me some definitive proof. If y'all can show me some proof, I'll wake up some of my people by letting them know. But I got
Okay.
I need proof. I need proof.
Okay.
So that's y'all homework. Come back tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow.
No. I know a lot of scholars
Okay.
that come on that that have lives. And I know one scholar, she have a encyclopedia of everything. I'm gonna try to see if she could come on here.
Bring them.
Because she has her name is Copper. Copper Cutie. When I say she's just one of them. We have a lot of intellectual scholars. All they do is read.
Get you some sleep, brother. You got homework. Come back tomorrow. Get you some sleep. True Master, we almost took you out the lineage, but you weaved yourself back in, brother. You've FBA.
Well, brother, listen. Like I said, there are some of us who have.
Now, hold on, man. I looked at your page real quick, brother. You said you part of Wu-Tang?
Yeah, I produced extensively for Wu-Tang and a number of other people in the industry. But what I know, let me just say this real quick. In terms of if you notice, there was this discrepancy of who created hip hop, right? And the only black people that would support the Puerto Ricans' false narrative that they co-created were black people that were from Caribbean.
Yep.
Right?
Of course,
I
because they
never really
against it.
picked up on it until I started paying attention. Now, mind you, I don't
Yeah.
know any of my grandfather's family, never been to Jamaica. I don't know any of them people. I've met him one time. Now, he came here. He had children with my grandmother, who's always told us about our indigenous lineage here. And so she had 6 kids. And then my father's family always also told me about, I think almost every black person who has family here in the Americas told them about being indigenous to the Americas.
Yeah.
So that's why I was able to find on my mother's side and my father's side. But my mother's father is from Jamaica, but he was born in Panama because his mother went there, when they was doing the Panama Canal thing. And so he came here, he met my grandmother. But when, like what I was saying with the hip hop, the only black people that was supporting that narrative was people who identified and have direct, like their mother is from Jamaica. They came here, like, KRS-One or Pete Rock or something like that. Their mother came here. And then they start that shit. And, like I said, my mother's mother is from here. And that's when I started realizing, wait a minute, everybody that's undermining black Americans or foundational is black people that's outside of our and that's what FBA.
They not us in that case. Say true master. Let me bring this to your attention. The reason why we didn't get reparations is because, people that look like us is not us. Like they say, all skin folks is not kin folks. The Black Caucus is not even us. These are folks from the islands.
Yeah. And this the crazy part.
So
the Africans are coming and creating an African caucus and not even joining the black caucus.
Yep.
The Africans that get elected, they saying we want an African caucus. And everybody's preserving their ethnicity, and our unique experience is not preserved.
So hold on, Christopher. I know nobody can read your comment. For some reason, I can't turn it on. But you said, who were the African American slaves? There were no African American slaves, sir. I'm not saying that there wasn't African slaves, right? But there were only American Negro, and then there was African Negro, and those were the slaves. There is no such thing as an African American slave because African American was a term that didn't come to us until 1988 or 89.
1988, Jesse Jackson running for president. He reclassified us.
African American came into play. We were either Negro, colored, or black, or freedmen.
Now,
those are the 4 things that the American Indians got reclassified as, and some of the African slaves just kind of fell into it because we were all enslaved by the same slave master. You got that?
That's the only thing that I'm not about. I mean, it's like
I don't agree with that either.
that slavery part. It just.
They want you to think that we were slaves.
Yeah, because they've done so much rewrite and
remember I told y'all we are a vigilant people. We are going to fight for our land. We are going to fight for our land, right? We're going to fight for our land. There's only 2 ways they're going to get you off this land, and you're still here today. You're not unalive. You're still here today. Either you got unalived or you were enslaved. There's only 2 things. How did they get you off your land?
My father.
The reason.
How did they get you off your land?
I asked my mom about slavery.
How did they get you off your land? And listen. There's
it wasn't physical.
My mom is 90 years old, and my mom said that her family was slaves.
Actual documents. Listen, these are documents from back then.
But see, you got to understand.
Our classification, it said American Negro.
So do you call picking cotton a slave?
African Negro. Well, the African Negroes were the one. The African Negroes were the one picking
I just
cotton.
can't.
Too much. The genealogy, you got to understand when you're reading the definition of words and everything has been changed in a lot of them. And I'm going to say this.
I got you. Just like the definition of American was changed.
Like when you're looking at For instance, when you're looking at the census records and stuff like that, they have the slave census records as well. I forget what they call it, but it's the same thing. And it just lists them. Like a lot of people had to list their own family members as the Slavs because
I
they
know.
didn't want to risk with them being not claimed. They could have got sold, and taken away. So that's why there's still, when you look it up and you see why is the Slav master
How
got the
did y'all
same
get
name
put in
as
a
the
sharecropping
kid?
So are you
group?
saying that they was chained together and they was beat and whipped all day long? Like my mom was 90 years old, and we had like a really good conversation. She
Listen,
knows my
if you
daddy
tried to run
family.
away, they dang sure, yeah, they
That's
dang
the
sure.
Hollywood
I
stuff.
don't even believe in Harriet Tubman.
Yeah, that's the Hollywood
I don't
stuff.
even
That's not
believe
even
in
her
her.
real name. They made
It's
that
not.
name up.
I don't even believe in a Harriet Tubman, because when you think about it, okay, they out there walking and running, and it's alligators out there, crocodiles out there when they try to cross the water. Nothing makes sense when you try to make it make sense.
And
Nothing
when you
puts them
look
in
back,
safe houses. How do people know that you? All that stuff is just
when
no.
you
I
look
don't
back and
believe that.
you
They
see
just
how
did that to
all
make
your
you think
family.
that it was really slavery. That's why they wrote that crap up in there.
Well, one of the things I noticed when I did the research at the National Archives is that because the first census, the
Okay,
1860,
hold on real quick. So you agree that Jim Crow was real, right?
Jim Crow was absolutely real.
And I'm talking to my American Indian, my copper color Indian brother. You agree
Yeah.
that Jim Crow was
Yeah,
real,
I
right?
Oh
believe
yeah.
that Jim Crow, because there was some
Because
Jim Crow laws.
my dad was born in 1942, y'all. He grew up in Jim Crow. Okay, so
I do believe in the Jim Crow laws,
we can agree that
but
that was real, right?
that was just a
So
discrimination.
hold on. Let me tell you like this. My dad, listen. One thing my dad is known for is he doesn't lie. Even though I may say, man, that's too hard for me to believe. My dad has never been known as a liar. Okay, never been known. My dad told me that there was a black president. I laughed at him. I thought it was funny. But again, my dad had always had been a man of character and integrity. My
Mhm.
dad told me that my great grandfather Oliver was a slave. And he told me about Oliver before I did my genealogy. And then I found my great grandfather Oliver, and in his documents, he was a slave.
I don't know.
And my dad always told me, look, my dad and my mother, on both sides of my family, they told me, we're not African.
Here we not. But another thing,
They told me this. They told me
my
Blackfoot
family have
and
so much
Cherokee.
land that was left behind, and a lot of us have land patents.
Yeah.
But my family actually, I have land down the Carolinas.
So
We
are you in
have
the Carolinas right
roads,
now?
huh?
Are you in the Carolinas right now?
No, because when we were little, my father moved us from down the Carolinas up north.
So if you got land out there, why aren't you down there with your land?
My land is still there. I'm not selling it.
So you own that land. You have the
Yes,
paperwork on that land.
all my dad's generation, we all have land. Every last
But
one
do
of
you have
us.
the paperwork for that land?
Of course I do.
So you have the paperwork.
My daddy, okay.
Can you bring that
Okay.
paperwork
No,
tomorrow?
I'm not showing it to nobody. I'm going to say this to say this. My dad had the paperwork. My dad left the land to his children. All my dad's siblings was left with land.
Mm-hmm.
So what are
Right?
y'all doing
The
with that
land
land?
was
Are y'all
passed
building
out.
on that land?
And
Huh?
that's the whole point. That's the whole point. That's what
What'd you
needing to
say?
do our genealogy
Are
because
y'all
we can
building on
reclaim
that
our
land?
land.
Do I have photo?
Are you building on that land?
I don't know what I'm going to do right now. It's just sitting. It's not going nowhere. It's protected. We go down there. We check up on it. It's not going nowhere.
Okay.
My dad,
Interesting.
my father, and all his
What
siblings,
about you, Nietzsche? You got land too?
So
a
let me
lot of us got land.
not yet.
And
But the
land
thing is
patents.
we
You got
all
land
are
patents too much.
we all have it. They
You
can't
got
take that
land.
from us.
You
They
got to
can't take it.
dig.
I would
So
say
but hold on, hold
I
on.
think my
Before we
family
get off
got
this,
land too.
I'm trying to think of the word with a lot of the black people. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's going to come to me. What they did was kept the land in the family. And
Is it land that can be
so, yes.
sold? Is
Yes.
it worth anything?
Yeah, of course it is.
Like hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars? What?
Depends on who built.
I saw that
Depends on who built on the
online.
land.
I'm not.
$20,000?
I'm not going to discuss all that online because people weird.
Hey, so let me tell you this though. You was asking a question about how we got tricked off the land. Okay, we got tricked off the land when we didn't go to
Too
the
much. I have
reservation.
no reason to lie to you.
I'm
I
not
would.
saying
You
you
know
lying,
what?
ma'am. I'm not saying you lying to me. I'm just
Too
I'm
much.
just
Wait a minute. Too much. Listen, I would show you a picture with my maiden name. Then you know what? No, you can't do that online because people are weird.
I got you. I'm not trying to dox anybody. I'm just asking questions.
And wait, I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm gonna tell you a story that's so weird. I
Hey,
was
so
driving down. Drop that person.
hey, so let
and
me
talk about
let me
pretendian.
clarify this though for you. You know, when we got tricked off the land, that's just, it happened when we didn't go to them reservations. You know what I'm saying? Only really the mixed breeds or the YT people that came. The $5 went over there to the Oklahoma mainly, and then everybody that left became the Indian classification. They kept that, but the problem is
Yeah, because
everybody
that's what I'm trying
that stayed home became U.S. citizens in the corporation.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. A lot of y'all opted out of being Indian and opted in to being Negro.
Yeah.
Y'all did. Y'all did. If y'all would
color.
have went to the reservation,
If you
y'all
were
would have
colored,
stayed Indian.
But it's a reason why they didn't go
But
to the
y'all didn't want to
reservation.
go. Yeah, and there's a reason why y'all didn't want to go. I get it. So y'all said, shoot, we might as well stay over here and be Negroes because we got more coming to us better over here than we got going over there.
That's the best thing that we could have did. That
I would have never
sell
went on
our
the damn
souls and
reservation.
go to the reservations because look what they doing to the so-called natives.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. I get it. But here's the problem. Here's the problem that I have. Again, I'm gonna go back to that same problem. Y'all don't want to admit that some of y'all got caught up and were slaves.
Well, my grandmother, when she used to talk to me and tell me,
like I've always been
no,
free.
it's okay. It's okay. But the thing is, it's not our main narrative. That's not what our whole ancestry is about.
Hold on. And you can call it you got tricked out your land. No, you opted in.
I'm trying to think the name of that.
Brother,
You
too much.
opted out of the reservation and you opted into the United States corporation, like you said. You chose this. You could have chose and then you could have stayed fighting, but you didn't want to do that. So you got to come to listen. We got to be intellectually honest. We got to be honest. We got to be
No.
It
wasn't an
Now,
option.
brother,
It wasn't an option.
with ourselves,
I'm
brother.
trying to think the name
That's all
of
it's
that.
about.
Okay,
It wasn't an option. That's just what it was. If you didn't go to the reservations, you became a U.S. citizen. That's just what it was.
now,
And then
brother, too much. Can I ask a quick question?
Go ahead, Master. Go ahead, Truman.
When you said your father told you about one person that was a slave, because my grandmother used to tell me about family members who were slaves, but also told me about family members who had all of this land and they fought the white man and this and that. So I heard two narratives. Did you hear two narratives, or you just heard my people were slaves?
Well, I was told that we came that we were slaves, but my parents were very adamant in telling me that we were Blackfoot and we were Cherokee, and we just got caught up. I don't know
Like
what I said. We got caught
you
up.
know, this old dirty bastard always talk about,
Old Dirty
the Indian that sold Manhattan to the white man is my grandfather.
Old Dirty is a copper-colored people. He's really from us.
No, his family is really the Shinnecock tribe.
Yeah.
Isn't he deceased?
He's deceased.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I produced his first song, Brooklyn
They used
Zoo.
to own all of New York.
ODB is of us. He's really indigenous.
That's what I'm telling you. Listen.
Did you guys see that Michael Jackson's great grandma was Indian all the way?
Yeah.
Listen, Chuck Berry said I'm an Indian. James Brown said I'm an Indian.
Read up on Michael Jackson being an Indian.
That's
Oh
your
yeah,
homework.
that's pretty widespread though. I think they were Choctaw.
Shaka
Yeah.
Khan said, "I'm an Indian."
Come
Listen,
on.
But you know
all
who
of us
who
got
was the most famous one though? The first one that started saying it? Little Richard. That's
No,
who
we-
was the first one that started saying claiming the Indian publicly.
I'm trying to
listen.
think. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of that young
when,
singer name.
when
Our
The one that
parents,
just go. The
our
one that just go with Rihanna.
our
What's his
parents,
name? What's
our
that guy
parents,
name?
our parents told us who we were.
and
Chris
when you go to
Brown.
the
Just hold
census,
Chris
on, hold
Brown
on,
is
hold on, hold on.
Indian.
Time out. This is what happened. This is why I tell people stop sending your kids to school because those are indoctrination camps.
Yeah.
Yup, real
It's
man.
better that you homeschool your kids because the moment
Yup,
you send your kids to school, they turn against the parents because that's what it's
yup,
designed to do.
yup.
My dad used to tell me all kinds of game, and then I would go to school and be like, "Well, he don't know what he's talking about." But bless his
Yeah.
heart, I know he believes what he said, but he
Yup.
don't know what he's talking about because
Because the
the
school's
school told him.
brainwashed. They do.
Yeah, you got to understand. Listen, we have been under heavy propaganda
Yup.
and witchcraft. I mean, this thing is sick.
Oh yeah. Oh
Listen,
yeah.
they try to point at North Korea, right? They try to say North Korea is the bad guy, and North
Oh
Korea
yeah.
people they under they're under propaganda and witchcraft too, but it ain't nothing
Nothing like here.
like they got going on here.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
telling
Well, guys, it's been a pleasure. I'm about to hop off the live, so you guys be easy. Too much.
peace, brother.
Thanks again
Come
for
see us
having me up.
again.
yeah.
Peace, brother.
Yes, ma'am.
Come
Peace.
back tomorrow because they're gonna talk about how we invented the Constitution. So
That's
come
right. I'm gonna come back with that homework.
I'll be there for it. Trust me.
I need to see this, okay? Because I need to vindicate my father who told me that we had a black president before. I need to vindicate and him.
I'm
And
gonna
listen,
contact some of my
it wasn't just my father; it was my uncles told me the same thing too. So I need to, here's what I'm telling you: school is not what y'all think it is.
I understand.
See,
It was
what,
all Indian business then.
see, before George Washington, there was 7 presidents.
Okay, so you're saying the same thing too. That's
Yeah,
kind of what my dad
it
was saying.
was.
It's called the Continental Congress.
And there was like before it's like every time America gets in trouble, they bring on a black American to come save it and get it up out of it, and then all of a sudden they kick them back out again and go back to, So that's kind of the narrative I've been hearing. But I need the proof on it. I want the proof once and for all, so I can pray to my ancestors and apologize to my father for laughing at him and thinking he was crazy. I
Yeah,
need
that's
Well, you
something.
didn't know better because like you say, the school's brainwashed.
Man, I mean, it's some serious brain, and it's not just elementary school and high school; it's college people.
And understand these $5 Indians, their grandparents went to Indian boarding schools to
Indian
teach them
boarding
how to be us.
Yeah.
Yes,
And our
And
Needy
I know
That's the
our
about
Needy
sad part.
people
I
was
heard
the
it was
ones
black
teaching them.
people in the boarding schools teaching them too. Black
It
Yeah,
kids.
was.
yeah.
It was.
That's
Those were
exactly what I just
American
said.
Indians, sir. Those black people
Those are the
were
American Indians.
Exactly.
They had the
teaching
children
them
teaching the
how to
children.
be them.
And
Yep.
you know why they needed that is because those are the breeds of the test tube babies.
Yep.
They didn't know nothing.
Yep.
That's why.
Now, here's the funny thing that I learned just now. Let me say this before we end this. When Donald Trump started deporting the
Questioning.
so-called Indians, right? He did that
Natives.
after they welcomed the white people in, right? And then he can't deport the white people, that's the Indians. So this is why, even though the Indian birth rate went down, their population went up, like the Latinos' birth went down, because they let the immigrants in and the white people went into the Indian tribes. And now that the Indians is getting kicked out, the white people is still there, asserting more and more, of their false connection to this land. And
Okay, listen. I'm slowly starting to what's up, Jasmine? I'm slowly starting to come to y'all side a little bit. I'm slowly starting to understand the game that's going down. But I still need the paperwork. I still need the proof.
Okay.
I'll bring it tomorrow.
Okay.
Jasmine, I'm gonna end the live. Come back tomorrow. They're gonna bring the proof where we got.
About what time? Cause you be, I be waking up out of my sleep seeing you on
I'll be
live.
on late. I'll be on probably like 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That'll be 11 p.m. Eastern time and 10 p.m. Central time.
Oh, you on Pacific time? Yeah, you like 3 hours behind us.
No, that's Pacific time.
Yeah, that's
So Niji's on the same time as me. So bring the proof. One of y'all bring the proof and show me.
I'm definitely going to do my
saying
you wrote that
something without having something to back
Constitution,
it up on.
but they kept on adding on to the annex, and that's the white T man. All the add-ons,
Yeah.
that
Like
was
the
they that
amendments
that
and
was
stuff.
found, but the original Constitution came from our ancestors.
Sorry about that. Okay.
Hey, let me end it with this one though. The 14th Amendment ain't even about us. You know that? Because we're indigenous. We don't need that. But you know who it's for? The white tea people. That's why they never talk about race.
Another thing,
Mind blowing.
if you
Mind
ask the
blowing,
white
ain't it?
T person where their grandparents come from, they all going to say Europe, and most of them don't know where their family at.
I done let y'all take me down the rabbit hole, goddamn it. I done let y'all take me down.
You get brother Niji going super rabbit hole right now.
Hey, once you learn that truth, it's like, man, it's just
No, you don't want to know what it is. Too much.
I'm
That's your
still-
daddy. That's
I'm
your
still
daddy's
FDA,
spirit.
y'all.
No,
Okay?
that's
Y'all done let
that's
y'all
your
take me
daddy's
down
spirit,
there-
and your
take me down
ancestors
the rabbit
wakening
hole.
you.
Y'all
That's what that
motherfuckers
is.
take
He
me
don't
down
hear
the
nothing I'm
rabbit hole.
telling him. But that's his dad and his ancestors. They said it's time to wake up, boy.
oh yeah, definitely.
Oh man, I had a dream when my dad passed away. I had a dream when my dad was yelling at me. He was mad. He was like, "Forget about the money. I don't want to hear nothing about no money." And I'm like, "What are you talking about, Dad?" And all I could think about was when I woke up, I found out that my sisters rushed the funeral, and I didn't get no inheritance. So I figured out, don't worry about the money because your sisters already took the money. But that nigga was mad at me. He was hot. I was like, I had a dream about my dad when he passed away, and that he was like, "Don't worry about the money. Don't worry about the money."
That was deep. He was talking. That was
He's
just.
trying to tell you.
Well, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. I've never had to worry about money because I have amazing belief in myself, and I never depend on anybody to take care of me. Period. I've always taken care of myself. So
Too much. All like that. Too much. Listen to this.
My dad put confidence in me that I don't depend on no white man to pay my bills. I go out there and get that. I go in and get that scratch, that Crayola. I make it happen.
Too much. Let me just say this right quick. Unfortunately, I lost my brother in January.
Sorry to hear that. Rest in peace.
Thank you. But you know what? Right before he passed, he came to me in my sleep. And he was like telling me about some money. Don't you know that he put me in his inheritance?
Wow.
And I'm set for the rest of my
Well, you
days.
know what? I don't talk to my sister to this day because they rushed the funeral, so I couldn't go back to.
But see, I was telling you that because your dad
took my
came to
money.
you. His dad was trying to tell him.
But he was telling you don't worry about it. So maybe he meant for you not to hold nothing against them for that.
Man, listen, I'm always gonna hold that grudge against them. I don't care what nobody. My dad, I'm stubborn just like my dad. First of all, just like my dad.
But you don't talk to her no more.
Well, I don't talk to none of them. On that side, I already X'd them out. You know, I already plan on becoming a millionaire, billionaire, and I don't ever have to listen. I'm a genius.
Let me tell you something. Too much. Check this out.
Else believe that I'm not a genius. I know I'm a genius. I know it.
Too much. My sister, right? I be having issues with her, and at this moment, it's not like we don't talk, but I don't necessarily want to be in her presence. She's so disrespectful and all kind of shit. But because she's my sister, right? If something ever happened, when my mother returned to the essence, if she ever needs something, I can't refuse her.
I'm not that
because
way.
I know that my mother, my grandmother.
I stand on. I don't listen. I don't have my 5 closest friends. I don't hang around criminals. I don't hang around nefarious type of people. I don't hang around liars. I don't hang around cheaters. If you do those things, stay far, 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 because I don't want anybody confusing me with you.
Yeah.
You understand? I don't hang around nefarious people. I hang around only solid individuals, characters. Everybody in my group got money. I mean, if I ever was to be done broke and I needed something, I know I'm never broke because I know I got real friends. My dad handpicked all of my friends for me. Okay, my dad, before rest in peace. Thank God, I love my pops to death, man. He was a great judge of character, and he handpicked all my friends from high school, and we are still friends today. I only hang around stand up guys. If you're a family member of mine and you do anything that's not good at all, we can't ever hang out.
Well, I don't hang out with my sister.
I believe with
My
this.
grandmother would turn in the grave.
Listen,
I
and this
never
is what
really
the Bible
understood that.
and this is what the Bible say. Listen, I don't have to forgive you if you don't repent, because you're not going to smile in my face and act like I'm supposed to forgive you so you can get me again.
Yeah.
No, but
Fool me
it's,
twice. You know, you're not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna always take you at your word and watch your actions. And if I
Yeah.
see they don't line up and match, I'm out of there. I don't
yo,
hang around.
I cut off a friend I had
for real.
I cut off a
Yeah,
long-term
family
friend not too long ago when he told me that after his friend that he used to always talk about this guy helping him with his roofing business and this and that, his right-hand man. Because I had told him, don't bring no black people to my house. And because I ain't want no niggas to know where I was and all this. And he brought the dude anyway. And I said, what the fuck? I just told you, don't bring. Yo, this is my right-hand man. And I let him get that, right? Well, when his friend died during COVID, he started talking about how he started fucking his friend's wife. And I told him, I said, yo, don't ever call me no more. Don't call me. I don't want nothing to do with it. He said, what? He said, yo, man, why you act like, this is something. I said, bro, that's enough. I can't do it. I said, certain things I don't fuck with. If you that type of person, bro.
That's dirty.
And you used to talk about this dude. You told me you only brought him and you told me all the stuff he did to help you save your business, and that's it. Get your ass away from me.
You are never going to convince me that you're going to be shady to them and you're not going to be shady to me. If you're shady to anybody, you're a shady individual, brother.
Like my best friend passed away, and I could never see me doing that with her husband. I don't care. She ain't here. I could never ever see me doing that. Because my conscience cannot allow me.
If you grind me to others, it's only a matter of time before you turn on me and be grinding.
That's wrong.
Hey, but I never really understood how people could be like distant from their siblings and stuff like that, and their family. I just never understood that. But now, as older, all these things that has happened to me, I can understand the same thing.
Man, listen,
what I'm saying? Family will treat you worse than your worst enemy.
Me and my sister haven't talked in.
Do y'all
really talked in years?
What that saying, the blood is thicker than water? Do y'all really understand that saying, blood is thicker than water?
No, it ain't. That's a damn lie.
No. Let me explain to you. It's actually a religious term. It means the blood is the blood of Jesus is thicker than the water of the womb. Meaning, your kin, just because they're your family, don't make them your family. Your family, let me tell you who your family is. Your family are those that go through the fire with you and come out on the other end clean.
But here's another jewel too, and I remember hearing that. I remember hearing that.
The ones that go through the fire with you and come out on the other side clean, just like you. If they don't make it to the other side clean, they're not your family.
Now, here's a jewel though. Now check this out. With Wu-Tang, right? We started as a bunch of brothers that grew up and had an aspiration to do something, right? Now, once we did it, we had disagreements, and we love each other as brothers, right? No matter what happens and what we disagree on, and some brothers done came out public. I don't never want nothing to do with that motherfucker. They sued this nigga, that. But it's something about our unity that no matter what the fuck happens, we can build. Bill Bourne's understanding. We the gods, so we deal with mathematics. Y'all don't study mathematics, but when Bill Bourne's understanding, meaning no matter what's going on, if you do talk to the person, whether they're the physical blood or your blood through commonality, you can find an understanding. So meaning talking is the main thing that is missing when there's any kind of conflict between people. It's just talking. You know what I'm saying? And if you can talk, you can understand each other, and then and so no matter what, my brothers, when I see, I don't have, when I don't talk to you, fuck you, nigga. And then no matter what, if we start talking, if there's love there was love in the beginning, it will come back. And the love, I've been seeing shit, you know. So I'm just saying in terms of mathematics, and that's why I know with my family.
Drew, are you from New York?
I'm from New York.
Because you know what? I'm from up north, and I can hear it. Certain words that you say, I'm like, he from New York. I'm from Philly.
But check this out. Listen, there are
If you could talk to a person that you used to love and they lived, and you think that they had love for you before, that you can talk. That's why the brain.
No, I agree with that.
The heart is important. The heart.
I 100% agree with that. But here's what I can tell you: the heart is very deceptive. It's a deceiver. If you follow your heart, you're gonna follow it right off the cliff. You don't. You do not allow your heart to lead. You allow your gut
and your brain, your mind and your gut.
But with too much situation, I feel
that heart can have you.
That heart wants what it wants. It has no logic behind it. It's an emotion. It's a desire. It's a strong one, but it wants what it wants, and you do not follow that thing.
They say, how can you heal a broken heart?
Not that you got to follow your heart, but your heart should be light. That's why the Egyptians threw away the brain when they was doing the mummification, and they preserved the heart, because the main thing is the thoughts could trick you too, because your thoughts ain't always your thoughts, and your heart.
True, but your thoughts are really a thing of condition, memory, and trauma. That's where trauma lives.
Your thoughts can save your life because
trauma lives up here.
Because a gut feeling is a call. Sometimes it's like the intuition is coming from your mind. Your mind and your gut.
The only thing that can rightly divide truth. That gut rightly divides truth.
I know the gut. Yeah, the gut is
divides truth.
That's the center of consciousness, is the gut.
That gut and that mind together go hand on hand.
You got two brains. Use them. You got the brain that's conditioned, that you program and other people program, and then you got that gut. That gut's always going to be the main one that's going to tell you, hey.
That gut can save your life.
Yes,
I can validate that. I've been in many situations. Many situations. Listen to my gut, come back.
I'm telling you, this is what I used to tell my kids. Always listen to that.
Your gut tells you
know, like a lot of times you say, something told me not to do that. I shouldn't listen. That's that gut feeling.
Tells you not to open that door, not to go out there, not to do something. You better listen to it.
Yeah.
And it could save your life.
It could save your life.
Listen, I got shot because I didn't listen to my gut.
Yeah.
Listen to my gut told me not to go.
The first instinct is your gut.
Man, you gotta listen to it. Don't listen to that. That heart.
Your intestines is made of the same as your brain. They look like your brain.
I believe that.
Yeah, your intestine is the second brain. It's made out of the same material, and if you unravel the brain, it's really an intestine.
Mm-hmm. And all your illnesses come from your gut. It comes from your stomach.
Mucus and all that stuff, that's the enemy. Get mucus out of everything and you will be healthy. But hey, I gotta go. I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm
sleepy.
Come back tomorrow. Bring me
the
food.
I didn't know that you was following me.
Yeah, I'm following you. Why wouldn't
No, I said True Master.
Oh, True Master.
I was already, because we was already in a live together probably.
What?
And you spoke something that resonated with me.
Okay.
And you know, when I hear somebody speak something, like I had been in the brother Too Much live before I came in the other night, and I was understood you, because I thought I was in a live where you were denying our indigenous roots here. I said, damn, I said, damn, this brother talking totally different now. And then it resonated, and I was with you the other night, or it might have been last night. And then I said, damn. And then
I've never denied our indigenous.
Well, it must have been somebody else.
I never denied the African ancestry that some of us have. I never denied that. Never.
Okay.
Never. Our people, listen, we have many different tribes in the foundational Black American tribe, but we're just uniting. This is the key. We're uniting all the tribes under one umbrella,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not. You can claim whatever you want to claim.
You can claim whatever you want.
But we already already told you who you are, and when you get on code with us, you'll understand why. Why we're
The key word is code, because everybody cannot come with us. All the
Yes.
non-believers, all the agents, they
listen.
can't come with us.
Y'all
So,
need to plug into
code is
Professor.
the key word.
Yeah, y'all need to plug into 𝗤𝗏𝗄𝐻. Y'all need to plug into
Oh,
Professor.
y'all listen to him. He deep.
They're the young brother on here on TikTok and on Twitter and on YouTube called Afro Elite. He's on TikTok now too. Brother is sharp. You got to plug into him. Vicky Dillard, you got to plug in with her. You got to plug into the grassroots media. That's the only way you're gonna know how we're moving and why we're moving the way we're moving. It's very strategic. It's very genius the way we're moving. The way we're moving, they can't figure us out.
Hey, I'm gonna ask you this though. I think how Phil Scott he created that African diaspora and stuff. I know he's after all the information that then came out, I know he's kind of like it's not FBA. You know what I'm saying?
He's not FBA.
Not the African. It's African diaspora.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
When you say FBA, well, he supports FBA.
Listen, we have
he does, but
we have FBAs who are Pan-Africanists. Okay.
Oh,
that's
it's not the same though.
It is what it is. But this is what I'm saying. The lineage is the lineage. I don't have a right to kick out anybody from the lineage. I can't say
but them Pan-Africans, they too anti. They just like the Caribbean.
Yeah, they are, and we gotta call them out as samples. But I don't have the right to kick anybody out the lineage. If you're American Indian, I can't say, "Oh, you're not FBA."
Everybody can't come with us. Remember that theory? They can't come with us.
If you're Hebrew Israelite and you're part of the lineage, I can't. Okay, so you claim Hebrew Israelite, but you're still part of the lineage.
I don't like that.
I don't like that.
I used to be like,
they agents.
I used to be into I used to really support that, but I had to take a step back after I started just seeing too much
agents, all of them. They pay
too
agents.
much Pan-Africanism. You know what I'm saying? Because this is going against our movement.
It's going against our whole entire movement.
Hey, if them niggas want to be West Africans, let them let them go. They can still be part of the lineage.
That right there, they can't be part of the
where the
𝗣𝗏𝗄𝐻𝘂𝘁𝗂𝗁 to go.
Hold on, they can still be part of the lineage, but they don't got to go where we go.
Well, they can't come.
You understand? The code. Listen, if you're not codified, we're not talking to you anyway. If you're a person who's off code, you're not gonna know what the heck we're doing. You're not supposed to know what the heck we're doing.
They're not going to mix in and mix anyway.
We're not
going to come
tell
here
you.
and they're going to try to turn things around, change the narrative.
We're not going to tell you, but the ones who are on code, we know who they are.
Yeah, we know who they are.
I can tell who everybody is just by listening to them. I can tell what you watch, what you're consuming, all that just by listening to you. I can tell some people watching way too much television. Just by the way they talk. I'm like, man, you've been watching, man, your brain is rot. You have zombie for brain. That's what your mind is, a zombie because you're watching too much television. I can tell.
Hey guys, I'm gonna hang up this mic. I'm tired. Good night.
Everybody,
I see you later on today, not tomorrow.
Okay.
Later on.
All right, too much.
It'll be tomorrow.
Night, guys.
All right,
too much.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to line it up on the side one day. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna have to, brother. We're gonna have to.
You're right down the street. You know what I'm saying?
I'm down the street, brother. I'm down the street. We're gonna have to. We'll line it up one day for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But
All right, take it easy.
All right, now.
Peace.